on you, bro.
All right. Testing. Testing. Let's say. Okay. All right, good. Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, I'm going to start by giving all praise, honors, and glories to Yahawah, Hashem, Yahawashi, Hashem, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, the great millstone, for teaching 100% truth. Why brought the thumb to the 144,000, as well as the rest of the elect. May peace and blessings be unto your household. It's a Jim in Dallas, making it again another Friday evening, and pretty much to shut down Babylon the Great, also aka known as Americas, right? And in today's topic, we're going to start off with the lead. Pretty much is not making this place your risk. Not only not making it your risk, but why not to make it your risk, right? Because lately, I'm pretty sure been on brother spirits as well. Been very vexed lately, just simply seeing the shit that's going on in this society. I mean, of course, we shouldn't expect nothing less. It is Esau, the physical counterpart of the devil, the deceiver, right? But not to talk too much. We go ahead and get that Micah 2 and 6 wherever we got it.
This is Micah chapter 2 and verse 10, and it reads, Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction.
Exactly. It says, Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Matter of fact, can you get one stick? Yeah. It says, Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, man, because ultimately, this we will put under Esau as a punishment, right? And also it's showing us pretty much how not to rule a kingdom, man. Because right now Esau is being revealed at an all-time high. Put that like Nahum 3 and 5, right? Lord lifting up the skirt of this whore and being revealed to everybody,
Right.
and he being revealed as the devil that he actually is, man. And with that being said, with knowing that, right, you shouldn't want to be patterned after this devil, man. That's why you can't make this place your rest. Right. That's why I said it'll pollute you, man. Right? It's going to pollute you and it'll destroy you, right? Spiritually as well as physically.
Yep.
Right? Because ultimately, if you don't depart from this place, right, then guess what? You're nothing but merciful. You're part of that multitude that's going to be born in vain, as it says in 2nd Esdras, the 9th chapter. But you go ahead and get that, Baruch.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 6. You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved the Most High to wrath. You were delivered unto the enemies.
Exactly. So you were, and then read the next verse after that. We were sold to the nations not for our destruction, but because we moved Yahawah, Hashem, Yahawashi to wrath. It's going to explain how did we do that. Go ahead, got it.
Verse 7, for you provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not the Most High.
Exactly. So we provoked him that made us, which is Yahawah, Hashem, Yahawashi, by sacrificing unto devils, man, to idols. Right here, how you think the time of the flood came, man? Everybody was we was known as sons of God at the time, right? Sacrificing unto idols, man. The Lord got fed up with it. Right now we're in the same predicament, man. Right. Jake still sacrificing unto idols. Matter of fact, go ahead and get this 2nd Esdras 9 and I think it's 9 and 21. I think it is. Where it goes into the grape of the cluster, somewhere around there, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, we the 2/3 of our people now are provoking Yahawah even more by sacrificing onto ultimately this devil, right? Whether Buddha, whatever got hell, Esau himself, right? He's looked at as a god in this society right now. You can tell by the way people treat him, right? Even though he's getting exposed at an all-time high, people still like, man, I really don't even want to talk about it like that. Let it have been Jake though. Honestly, let it have been any other nation other than the Edomites. Because Edomites, they got that term white. So they looked at it pure, man. They looked like they could do no harm, but they the biggest niggas on the planet.
Yeah.
So the Lord,
yeah.
So the Lord put us in this predicament because we moved him to wrath by serving other gods. Right? And with us serving other gods, man, this is where we at today, man. Our own pride pretty much brought us here, but this is part of the Lord's movie. Because scriptures goes into through Adam we all fall, but through the second Adam, which is Yahawashi, Mashiach, we should be made alive, right? So right now, we're just in the process of waiting until Yahawashi comes back, and in hopes and Lord willing, we be delivered. But did you end up finding the second Esdras 9?
I did.
I think it's
21. Start at 21.
All right. This is Second Esdras, chapter 9 and verse 21. And it reads, and I saw and spared it greatly.
Start around 19, Baba Kashai.
Salakia, this is Second Esdras, chapter 9 and verse 19. And it reads, but then everyone obeyed, but now the manners of them which are created in this world that is made are corrupted by a perpetual seed, and by a law which is unsearchable, rid themselves.
You keep going.
yeah,
It's going to go to this point.
Verse 20, so I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were come into it.
keep going. Yeah, keep going.
All right. Verse 21, and I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster and a plant of great people.
Exactly. So the Lord, he saw pretty much how messed up the world is, right? Because I mean, as you can see, man, wicked is exceedingly polluted the earth, man. Right? And he saw that, and ultimately Yahawashi saw that, and he said, you know what, I'm gonna keep a cluster, aka the elect, right? The only ones that's not gonna bow the knee to the image of Baal, right? To ultimately Esau Edom. That's not gonna turn it back on Yahawashi. Right, as it says in Isaiah, is it the 10th? I think it's the 10th chapter. How it goes into how remnant shall return onto Yahawashi. Right, though Israel be as a ascendancy, but a remnant shall return. Right, and we're seeing that, man. The great awakening. Right, there's gonna be even more people that come in as we get closer to the end. Right, you got some people that's gonna come in at the very last hour. Right, but not to start too far from the topic, man. We've been put in this situation because of what we did, because we sinned against Yahawashi. It's not because, oh, Lord just said, man, you know what? Fuck y'all, man. Yeah, it wasn't just like that about it. He was like, nah, you want to serve other guys? This is what serving other guys gets you, right? Ultimately, due to us being in this flesh, man, is the reason why we did it.
Yeah, so he could subject us to hope in Yahawashi.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, get that in office, David. You got something?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4, and it reads, and thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for you have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever.
Exactly. Like you said, you go ahead, speak on it.
All right. And that's, pretty much backing up the brother. We the ones who went out. All right. For serving other idols of the heathens that you read about. What's that, Ezekiel, the 36th chapter? I think that's Ezekiel 36th chapter. Yeah. And, we pissed the Heavenly Father off. Okay. So now we're in this condition where we coming back, remembering ourselves, being quickened through the spirit of Yahawashi. Okay. And those are the ones who gonna have the 100% truth, man. Those are the ones who gonna, call on the right names through the remembering of themselves. Okay, those are the ones, who's gonna, tell our people that they're, to turn from their wicked ways to repent. All right, we're not gonna go along to get along. Okay, we're gonna do everything that we were commanded to do according to Isaiah the 33rd chapter. Okay.
Got a precept to go with what you just said.
God, this is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 23. For I sent you out with a mourning and weeping, but the Most High will give you to me again.
My bad. It's like it 28. Yeah.
Baruch chapter 4, verse 28. For as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so be in return, seek him 10 times more.
Exactly. For our mind was to go astray. Right? It was already prophesied that we was going to discontinue anyways. Right. But now with us realizing that, how much we should be seeking Yahawashi 10 times more.
Right.
Right? Working out your salvation with fear and truth, giving diligence to make your calling and election sure. Things we go into all the time. Right? Because we don't deserve to return back unto Yahawashi. right? Scriptures goes into, man, when a woman goes away from a man and go on to another, shall not that land be greatly polluted?
Right.
Right? But the Lord said, return back unto me. Right? So it's like, damn, we're not even deserving of returning back unto Yahweh Shai because we went to serve these other guys. But Yahweh Shai, yeah, return back unto me. We're showing you that he's showing ultimately starting with his elect. Great amount of mercy, man. But you got something? Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Romans chapter 11 and verse 6 in the NLT. And it reads, and since it is through the Most High's kindness that it is not by their good works, for in that case, the Most High's grace would not be what it really is, free and undeserved.
Okay, read that from the top again.
Now, Romans chapter 11 and verse 6 in the NLT. And since it is through the Most High's kindness, then it is not by their good works.
Exactly. It's through the Most High, Yahweh Shai kindness. Ultimately, him showing mercy. It's not because even in Ephesians 2 goes into that, it's like how we're gonna be saved through our faith, less than and not of works ultimately. Right? So it's by the Yahweh Shai kindness, ultimately his mercies, the fact that we got this wisdom and knowledge and understanding, because we don't deserve it. Right? We all can sit here and testify. We all know we don't deserve to have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We don't deserve to know anything that's coming, right? We deserve to live just like pretty much everybody else. But through his kindness, man, his mercy, his grace that he's going to show upon really his elect, the first fruits, hey, we able to stand here today, ultimately through Yahawah, his sacrifice.
Right.
But you got it, bro.
Continuing on, it says, for in that case, the Most High's grace would not be what it really is.
Exactly. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Free and undeserved.
Exactly. So in that case, like I said, in that case, Lord Yahweh Shai, grace wouldn't be what it really is if he didn't show kindness onto us. Because grace goes into partiality to judgment. And also one of the similar words also goes into his favor, right? Because he showed favor upon the elect of his people, man. Start with the elect of his people. Them are the only ones that's going to be able to escape the destructions to come from this place, because guess what? Lord is going to open up their mind to see that, man, this place is no good,
Right.
and to depart from it. That's why we start off with that Micah 2.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, we can go ahead and get that. You got more on that?
Yeah, I can read verse 17.
Yeah.
Romans 11 and verse 7 in the NLT. So this is the situation. Most of the people of Israel have not found the favor of the Most High they are looking for so earnestly. A few have, the ones the Most High has chosen.
Exactly. A few have the one that you still got First John 2. Okay. Yeah. My bad. I lost my train of thought. Can you read that part again?
The latter verse, it says, a few have, the ones the Most High has chosen.
Exactly. A few have, and the ones that Yahweh Shai has chosen, man. Right. Them are the only ones that's going to get it. The one that the Lord chosen. Scripture goes into, ye have not chosen me, but I've chosen you.
Right.
Right? He didn't ask to be even called into this thing, but guess what? Yahweh Shai, he put that angel on us to unlock our minds to receive this word. Right? And receive it with gladness. So the only ones that's going to get it is the ones that the Lord wants to get. And we pray and hope that we'd be the ones that continue to the end, because now we're in a stage of you're either one of two things. You're either the worst of the worst or you're the best of the best. Right? That's where we're at.
Cut and dry.
Yeah, so when you come to serve the Lord, okay, now it's you're either gonna be the best of the best or the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
Like you said, cut and dry, man. Right, and we pray and hope that we don't be part of the worst of the worst. Right? Who wants to be the bottom? Who wants to be the bottom toe of an Israelite in the kingdom? Even though you're still gonna be well off. But let's be honest, you don't want to be walking around in the kingdom with your head down like, damn, I was serving at some. I'm one of the Judases that scriptures talked about. You don't want to have that kind of reputation in the kingdom. Right, so it's best you just give it all you got now through the power of Spirit Yahweh Shai. That's why you read it in Psalms to basically how David goes into taking out the Holy Spirit from you. Yeah, Psalm 51. I didn't know for sure. Psalm 51. Should be praying that on a daily, that Yahweh Shai take not thy spirit from you, because he's not obligated to keep his spirit on you. He can be like, okay, you done brought these my people in. All right, I really don't need you no more. I'm gonna start making me a lukewarm or whatever.
Yeah, to give an account to that, man, if I may add, we just saw, well, I have, since I've been in the truth, where, brothers are gifted, where they were called into this truth, and you see them like, have the ability to go out and preach the word, okay, bring other brothers in, and then they just get destroyed right before your eyes, man. And these are brothers that had a gift. So that's a frightening thing to see, to know a brother, that can break these scriptures down, and then all of a sudden he bug out, man. And then he falling out the truth, okay? The people, that was up under him, they falling out the truth. So it's a dangerous thing to fall in the hands of the Lord, you see?
Yeah, it's a dangerous thing to fall in the hands of Yahawashi, because like you said, man, we don't deserve it, right? And if the Lord see that you moving with this pretty much carelessly, He'll get you out the way. He'll be like, you know what, you don't give a damn anyway. Kick your ass out, right? You don't want to use your talents. You don't want to do it. You don't want to try to help forward the ministry. Hell, you're not praying. This things of that matter, because that's one of the first things that happen when someone begins to fall out. They stop praying. Right, they losing that connection with Yahawashi.
Right.
And ultimately, that's what it is. That forgot where it goes. I know it's in Sirach. How it goes into pride is the beginning when one departed from his maker. Right. So like that's that part. Once pride creep in, man, hey, you done pretty much, or too much of it, you done. But we go ahead, finish out that, and then we'll get First John.
God, this is Romans chapter 11 and verse 7 again in the NLT. So this is the situation. Most of the people of Israel have not found the favor of the Most High they are looking for so earnestly. A few have, the ones the Most High has chosen, but the hearts of the rest were hardened. Verse 8, as the scriptures say, the Most High has put them into deep sleep. To this day, He has shut their eyes so they do not see, and closed their ears so they do not hear.
Exactly. To this day, they don't close their eyes, man. And like I said, man, it's Yahawashi shot that got them in the deep sleep. So if you trying to wake them up, you trying to tell the Jake about the truth, trying to wake them up, and they ain't get it, maybe because the Lord got it to where they're in a deep sleep, right? He doesn't want them to get it. He's part of the ones that are born in vain that He wants to destroy, right? Less at any time that He does open their eyes, right? Because at some point, hell, we weren't always in the truth, right? But at a certain point, when the Lord all right, it's time, that's when you start getting it, right? But it's not gonna happen like that for everybody. Some people, they're not going to get it until it's too late. They're not going, as it says in 2 Corinthians 9 and 12, they shall learn after death by pain. That's when they're gonna get it, when it's already too damn late. So we'll go ahead and get that First John, and then we'll get that thing true.
This is First John chapter 2 and verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
Keep going.
Verse 16, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world.
Exactly. So that's why you shouldn't love the world, man. It says the lust of the flesh, right? And then scripture goes, as a matter of fact, in Galatians, the 5th chapter, if one of y'all can get it.
I got it.
In Galatians 5,
22.
yeah,
Like around 21.
Around that area. It goes into pretty much, the workings of the flesh, right? We can go ahead. Matter of fact, yeah, we're going. I think. Okay, nah, it's 19. 19. Like my bad. 17. Sorry, 17.
This is Galatians chapter 5, verse 17, and it reads, for the flesh lusted against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary to one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that you would.
Yep, Romans the 7th chapter goes into that, 14 on down. You can read it in NLT. It actually hits pretty good in NLT. Apostle Paul explains pretty much the workings of the flesh. The things I don't want to do, that I do. The things that I do want to do, that I don't do. That's just one of the lines that he said. But as it says, man, the spirit lusts against the flesh. It's a constant battle, right? It's a constant battle. That's one of the first things you learn about this thing, that, you got to deny yourself. But you got to deny yourself in a world that pushes forth you to indulge in the flesh, right?
When you look at that on the spiritual level, that shows you how, how opposing, Esau Edom was created, because he's very opposite, of the spirit, man. When you're in the spirit, okay, just like when the elect are beamed up, they get them new bodies, they're gonna be operating fully in the spirit. But he operated fully in wickedness, man, because of his flesh. You know what I mean? And the way the spirit that the Most High put in him. But it's just because he's so carnal, you can relate to that because we're in these chains of darkness. And then when you see our people, when they start going off and don't want to change from these different philosophies, you can see how they don't want to operate in the spirit. They don't want to do good. They just want to continue to walk in darkness, man. And that's that's very spiritual when you look at it, the way Esau Edom moved, contrary to the Most High. You know,
Yep, and that's something that Esau, he's excelling at. He knows how to tug at your flesh, man. Right, with the commercials, and it, you just can't get enough free will. You can be whatever the fuck you want. Right,
Yep.
this is all stuff that are related to the flesh. Nothing there ain't nothing. Esau ain't doing nothing that has to do with anything with being, getting your spiritual man better.
Yep.
Right, everything in this world is flesh, fast food.
Yep.
Right, what else? You like change sex. Right, what else? Damn, I'm thinking of something particular, but I can't say it.
Even this internet, man.
Oh yeah.
They got it with that AI now. You can be around talking. You know what I mean? Or to say had a conversation about something, and then it'll appear on your phone or on the internet. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You can be looking, talking about some boots or something. Then you start looking at boots. You're like, hey,
Popping up.
yeah, but it's pleasing to the flesh. To try to get you to spend money instead of you doing what you're supposed to do with it, or whatever the case. Whether you're hungry, and he'll start throwing up cheeseburgers all over the place. You're like, hey, I think I'm gonna get about 2 or 3 of them. But I'm just saying that's the way this world operates. Through carnally, man.
Yeah, man, this world is really just set to tug at your flesh, right? And once you hear about, oh, you can't just sit there and fulfill the lust of the flesh, that you need a change, right? That's when people draw the line, pretty much, like you was going into, because ultimately you were denying the flesh. It means you got to be uncomfortable to do that,
Right.
right? Because when you're fulfilling the lust of the flesh, guess what? You're gonna feel good. Your flesh is gonna feel good, right? It feels good doing all the wickedness because these ain't known as chains of darkness for nothing, right? It's the complete opposite of the spirit. That's why it's a constant battle in the first place.
Right.
We'll go ahead and get more of that this flesh.
Verse 18. But if you be led of the Spirit, you are not under the law. Nor the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murderers, drunkenness, reveling, and such like, of the which I tell you before.
That's black
As
culture. Everything you just listed off is black
Yeah.
culture.
Yep.
Pretty
Yep.
much, man. All of that, man. That's all from the flesh, bro. Just
Mhm.
nothing but straight wickedness. I didn't hear nothing good about it. I didn't hear nothing like, of fearing the Lord or meekness or nothing. I heard what lasciviousness, adultery, idolatry. There was pride. One of them pride was what? Was it? Did it say pride on one of them?
No, not yet. No.
Okay. Well, which?
But I mean, it's still in there when you look at all of this. That's
Yeah.
pride when you say the law, statutes, and commandments are done away with. Okay, that's when you get this.
Yep.
Everything we just named. Okay, there's nothing wrong. Although we know we don't teach that law, statutes, and commandments going to save you, but they're good for you. Okay, it's a good thing to fast. It's a good thing to to keep covenants. Okay, these are good things, man. But our people go ahead. No, but when our people see these, when our people hear things like that,
Yep.
they turn it as if you're a monster or something. What do you mean we can't? Like you Michael Myers or somebody that came after us. You see?
Exactly, man. Because they realize you got to actually change. We're like, oh man, I can't be comfortable. Shit, I thought I could, just call on the Lord and still do what I do. Be a nigga. No, bro, you can't do that. You got to deny yourself. You gotta fight your own self. Your biggest enemy is what? Yourself.
Yeah.
Right? That's your biggest enemy. Yeah. You fight yourself on a daily to basically follow after the Lord, man. Right? And in order for you to truly show that you love the Lord, what John goes into that, if you love me, keep my commandments. showing you that it's an action thing. You can't just say you love the Lord, but you out here just being a nigga, you over stealing and shit, right? Just committing murders, doing that, but you say you love the Lord. No, your action says otherwise.
Right.
But it ain't gonna happen.
That goes into that First Thessalonians chapter 4 about that the orderly conduct, man.
Yep.
You know, we got to be thankful in all things, meaning that whether you're base, you're abound, okay, you're doing good one week, you're not doing so good one week, okay, that's balance, man. But Jake, think it always got to be part. I remember I got a family member. And the only thing they talk about is, man, you gotta live life. When they see like, because you discipline and something, they're like, nah, man, you just gotta live life. Okay, well that's what we're reading right now. Okay,
Yeah.
you can't just desire to be a nigga every day, man.
Yeah.
And an idolater,
Yeah, just living life is you just fulfilling the lust of the flesh anyways, which is nothing but straight wickedness. Going out here, probably getting drunk, start driving, then before you know it, you got somebody killed or something. Just doing dumb shit. Right? Like you said, just living life. What life, man? Right? Esau finna get ready to strip that shit away from you, the little life that you think you got here. He finna show you, man, nah, you ain't finna live life. You finna be my slave for real.
Right. Yeah, scripture say I die daily. That's what Paul said.
Exactly, man. He died, shit. The hopeful leg, man, they died daily, man. That old creature is dying daily.
Right.
Right? That new creature is being renewed, which is after YAHAWASHI is being renewed daily as well. Right? So we departing more and more from this place, like the brothers like to say, man, we already checked out from this shit, man.
that's being refined, man. Those afflictions and walking the straight gate and understanding that, hey, we get it on this side. So we understand that for us to walk into the kingdom, okay, we're gonna catch hell over here, man. We get it. We understand what Paul is talking about. All right, but we being refined so we can be refreshed when Yahweh shall return. See?
Yeah.
Then you'll have your place of rest, going back into Micah 2:10,
Yeah, that's right. Go ahead and bring out your point, and we'll get back into that.
This is 1 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 9. Knowing this, that the law is not made for righteous men, but for the lawless and disobedient, for the ungodly and for the sinners.
Yep. So the law was made as a schoolmaster, right? It wasn't like I think Yahushua even said it, man. Right? He said he made the Sabbath for the man, not the man for the Sabbath.
Right.
Roughly paraphrasing. Right? So the law is really just to pretty much keep you in the way, right? Keep you in the way of how to do things. You go ahead and continue on.
For unholy and profane, for murderers of fathers and murderers of mothers, for manslayers, verse 10, for whoremongers, for them that defile themselves with mankind.
Exactly, because when you think about it, what is sin? Sin is the transgression of the law. And scriptures also go to where there is no law, there is no sin. Right? So there's no transgression. So if there's no law, man, ultimately you can't sin. You can't even say that this is wrong. But because there is, now you can point out, okay, this is right, this is wrong. It's all in the scriptures.
Right.
It's not based off of your own morale. Like, I feel like this is right. I feel like that this is no, bro. Right? Your mind is deceitful above all things, man. Lean not onto your own understanding. Right? Because when you lean onto your own understanding, you're leaving upon the flesh. And what is the flesh? We already got the list. Nothing but straight wickedness. You got to lean on the scriptures. What the scriptures say? Right? What does the scripture say, man? Scriptures tell you not to do this, not to do that. Right? Treat your neighbor as you treat yourself. Right? That's the true way. That's the true way. And if you ain't following the true way, then what are you doing? You being wicked. It's simple as that. You got something, son?
Yeah, I had a question for you. It's Sirach 3 and verse 24. For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and suspicion have overthrown their judgment.
Exactly. So people are deceived by their own vain opinion. Right? As you just heard earlier. Jesus is Lord.
If you ask her what the name Jesus means, she can't even tell you.
Exactly. You can't even tell us. Talking about this earth pig. You're right. That's your Lord. Right? Because that's not the power we serve. We know what we serve.
Right.
Yeah, you can serve that. And that's what's going to pretty much lead you to the destruction that's coming. Right? If I'm not mistaken, ain't the first ship, the slave ship, was called a good ship, Jesus?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, man. And James wasn't, bro, we're not even gonna go down that rabbit hole. But just saying that these people are deceived by their own vain opinions. It's like, can you read the last part of that?
Like, back into it. This is Rock chapter 3 and verse 24. For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion hath overthrown their judgment.
Got First John. Yeah, my bad. Read the last part again. It's like,
Yep. It says, Sirach 3 and 24, for many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion hath overthrown their judgment.
yeah, an evil suspicion to overthrown their judgment, man. Right? The things that ultimately of this world, man. That shit got you, Jake, all messed up, man, from what's right, what's wrong. Right? It's to the point where people can't even answer. We live in a society where people can't answer, are there two genders? There's only the fact that there's only two genders, male and female. It's all this extra shit. And then it's like people that are like in colleges like that, professors. I don't, when you mean male, what do you mean? Stupid shit like that.
Yeah, what do you
Like, hey, what is a man and what is a female? I mean, what is a man and what is a woman?
That's when you know you wicked, man. Where
Exactly,
you
man.
just can't,
Look at all the fact that you girls out.
When you can't answer simple questions like that a little kid can answer, right? A little 5-year-old boy or 5-year-old girl can tell you that, right? When you live in a society like that, that's how you know that this place is through, right? And hell, like I said earlier, this devil's already getting exposed with everything he's doing, right? Pedophile, So it's like, come on, man. What more proof do you need that not to trust in this devil? What more proof do you need? But we understand that, guess what? Some of y'all just not gonna believe, right? Even if you did realize, even with y'all do realize, like, okay, he's not what he cut out to be. Who else y'all gonna run to anyways? Jesus, that's their guy,
Right.
right?
Right.
Like, what if you don't run into YAHAWASHI, you're done. You're cooked, right? You're not gonna be able to see the world for what it is for real. You're gonna still be stuck on your little antidepressants, right, or whatever pills and drugs you be on to help you get through the day, right? Because ultimately, the Lord is the answer. And Scripture goes to, and in this world you should have tribulation, but in me you should have peace, right? We have peace knowing ultimately the truth, right? Knowing it for what it is, man, and not only seeing for what it is, knowing that this is not the end all be all.
And that goes into what you just read, Love Not This World, because that's what brings part of that black culture, like with the Eve woman. She wants to be a part of something, so she's not going to get with this truth. She'll stick with Christianity because she holds a place there. She can teach there.
Yep.
Be out of order.
All right. Yeah.
So these are the things that causes our people to go off, and that's those philosophies, man. I was listening to a Jake woman today, and it's just like, damn, everywhere you go, you just get tired of this place, man. I mean, this place is just really vex your spirit. Sometimes you just be like, man, you just gotta fall on your knees and just pray, man. 'Cause this place is fucking depressing, man.
God, bro.
And that's just on the real, dude. You just gotta get. If this place don't get you that way, man, there's something wrong with you.
God, you're part of the
I'll be
problem.
like, damn,
Yeah.
Hey,
that's why Yahawashi said, but he got to shorten the days unless no flesh shall be saved.
Yeah, because with the way Esau moving, you could tell that he's wanting to destroy everything. Because
Yeah.
if you're not promoting life, then by default, you're promoting death. Esau changing everything. He's saying, okay, nah, we could do this with this gene, right? Hell, El Yashwamba then went into a lesson, like yesterday, I think, yesterday, going to see how they, like the whole fucking, the test, they're not even real test, right? They putting, fucking firefly DNA in you and shit.
Mhm.
Half Jay, Jay was talking about, you sitting there meeting with a dude half firefly and shit, half bug, and you want it makes sense why people are bugging out even more. They got that shit in their system.
Yeah.
Thinking like a damn fly. Now they like eating shit and stuff or whatever. That's bro. That's the person that's ruling right now, right? And if you like being in this place, then like the brother said, man, you part of the problem. You got to go with this place as well, right? We don't need none of that in the kingdom to come. But
Yeah, Esau's the Lord of the Flies, Beelzebub. But damn, this place is crazy, bro.
exactly, Esau, he's that mad scientist, man, just trying shit,
Yeah.
just trying shit and don't give a damn.
Yeah, splicing genes with rats to where they got human ears and shit. Like, come on, bro, you done took it too far.
Exactly. They trying to make X-Men come to life real.
Damn.
You know, mutants basically. But you can go ahead and read back in that First John.
God, this is 1 John chapter 2 and verse 16. For all that is in the world, and the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world.
Exactly. All three of them things is not of the Father, of YAHAWASHI, but is of the world. The lust of the eyes, adultery and all. Hell, your praise for doing adultery in this world, right? And the pride of life, Esau, man, right? As it says in Sirach the 10th, man, as a king is, so is the people pretty much. Right? So it's like, man, the pride of life, bro. Esau pride done rubbed off on everybody down here, man. Right? Man, that's why when you go in other countries, bro, most not Jake, but people in general, you coming from America, you despise. They were like, damn, we tell you American. They were like, how? By the way you walking. You just got a proud look on your face, like, you can't fuck with me, right? And in the other nations, they can see that clearly as soon as you leave this country. Right? This place doesn't teach you to be humble, lowly, meek, putting yourself last. No, it's step on every toe to become first. Right? Do what you got to do. Hey, go hard or go home. Right? Go hard or die trying. Some to that effect. Right? That's the kind of world we're living in down here. Now we ain't knocking hard work, but like if you're doing the shit like by ill means, just doing anything to get to the top, then that's not okay. We go ahead and get that James 4. What's that? Well, it might be one more verse on that. Matter of fact, read the next verse.
God, 1 John chapter 2 and verse 17. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of YAHAWASHI abideth forever.
Exactly. The world passed away, going into ultimately this age is going to pass away. 2 Corinthians 6 and 9. Right? This place is going to pass away, but he that doeth the will of YAHAWASHI, that's going to abide forever. Right? Because the YAHAWASHI kingdom, man, that's going to be everlasting because guess what? He's going to be pushing forward nothing but life.
Ooh.
Right? Sirach 19. Matter of fact, can someone give me that? Sirach 19 and 19.
My goodness, bro.
Right? Because YAHAWASHI, he gonna show us pretty much how it's really done.
He gonna show us how it's done, bro.
Exactly. And then on top of that, he's gonna make it to where we can't go off.
God.
Right? Because if we could do it in these bodies, it'd be like the book of Judges all over again.
Man.
Right? And we don't want this. So the Lord like, nah, I'm gonna make a new covenant. I got something for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm gonna give you a new body to where you're gonna be after my mind. You're gonna be able to keep the law, statutes, commandment without even trying. And you're not gonna be subject to demons. Hell, the demons are gonna be subject to you.
Right.
Right? That's what we're gonna be living in when YAHAWASHI kingdom gets put in place. You can go ahead and get that spot.
This is Sirach chapter 19 and verse 19, and it reads, the knowledge of the commandments of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi is the doctrine of life. And they that do the things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality.
Exactly. So keeping the law, statutes, commandments, that's the doctrine of life. Doctrine going to sayings and teaching of pretty much of life. Right? So you keeping the law, statutes, commandments, man, that's ultimately the way of life, man. Hell, I like to always go into the dietary laws, for example. That's the most simplest one. Right? There's a reason why the Lord tell you not to eat pork. Hell, it's an example of not eating pork. He might divide the hood, but he don't chew the cud. Hell, look at the fuck they eat anyways. They're the decomposers of the earth. Meaning they'll eat anything. They'll eat you if you're pretty much dead. So they're meant to clean the earth. So you're not really supposed to be eating things like that. And you see why the Lord said don't eat things like that. That's just a small example. But what you can eat, what they do? They divide the hood as far as animals, meaning they divide the hood and chew the cud. Deer, for example. Right. And then on top of look at their diet, eating grass, hay, stuff of that nature. They ain't being decomposers of the earth. But you got something about them?
Come, because what it said, the commandment of the law of life. This is Proverbs 3, verse 1 and 2. It says, my son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall thy add to thee.
Right, exactly. It's gonna be added onto you, man. You keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. But like I said, even with the dietary law, man, you just simply eating the right foods, bro. That you can extend your life just off of that.
Yep.
right? And even though in Proverbs, I know it was Solomon that wrote that. Hell, this is pretty much just straight wisdom from him on how to navigate within the society, man. Don't strive with a mighty man. Strive against a mighty man, unless like he overtake thee or something like that. Agree with our adversary quickly. Just putting you on straight game of what to do and what you shouldn't do. Right? If people just simply follow like that notion, bro, it'll be a lot less. For one, it'll be a lot less crimes. Hell, I think everything will be a lot better. Just take adultery out of the equation, man. Everything will be a lot better. Change your diet. Everything's just. But Esau, he's not going to operate that way. He's just not going to move in that fashion because he wasn't created to do so. My bad. Was you about to say something?
Yeah, but even although with that mindset, Esau Edom, this devil here, he poisoning the foods, man.
Yeah.
Even if you try, that just show you how bad we have to get out of here. And on the other note, okay, this is what it said that Jake won't come to the truth, all because he got to put down bacon, man. I got a family member like, man, if it wasn't for that, you're like, man, I guess I'm gonna die, eating bacon because I got to do that. And that's just the mindset of our people, where that kept you from the truth.
Exactly. A simple diet change that's good for you, man.
Yeah.
Right? Hell, I've been shit. Jay been. I remember one of the brothers put a video just simply based off of sugar. Right? You see why they say sugar is pretty much worse than cocaine,
Man.
right? It's literally just poisonous onto you. You eat it.
Damn.
And then they add some additives to it to make you addicted to it. You're like, damn, I want that donut.
Yeah,
Right?
it's crazy. I was at the I was getting some blood work. They was checking me out. And I was doing a herb fast, and I was just taking herbs and cleaning out the system. And I've done it for about like 6 months straight. And they was checking my blood. And the first thing she came up and asked me was like, sir, can I ask you a question? What kind of herbs are you taking? I said, yeah. Just by looking at your blood. So these devils know, our health, man, and how to keep us out of shape and unhealthy, man. As the scriptures would tell us, if we was keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, how we can, just increase our health and our lifespan just by, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments with the dietary law itself.
Exactly, man. Scriptures go to man how the law is good, man. Right? It's good for us, man. It's not like the Lord tells us to do something and it's like, okay, it's just detrimental to us. Like we do this and we're just getting fucked up.
Right.
No, man, because like since we're using the dietary law, you told you what you can eat, what you can't eat, and the reasons behind it. Right? You fish in the sea, man. You can eat anything with fins and scales, which is like a bad fish. You can't eat no catfish, can't eat shrimp. And guess what they eat? They're responsible for cleaning the sea anyway. Clams, you can't eat that. What they do? They're the filters of the sea, man. Keep the water nice and clean and clear.
Right.
So there's reasons behind it. So it's not like the Lord just telling us, man, don't do this shit because I don't want you to do it.
Yeah.
It's reasons behind it.
Yeah, just for Big Shirley to eat all these clams and crabs. Bro, you're eating a filter. You're literally eating a filter. You're eating trash, bro. That's nasty, man.
That's why we don't eat the gizzards and livers and stuff like that, and the kidneys and all that stuff, because those clean your insides out, man, from the impurities.
Well, you can eat those.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, as long as it's, because Scripture speaks about the pertinence. You can eat, as long as it's of a clean animal. Like, example, during the time of the Passover, when you read Exodus chapter 12, technically, you're supposed to really roast the whole lamb, it says, and the pertinence thereof, meaning the insides.
All right.
So you can eat, and as a matter of fact, the apostles was going into that a few months ago on their live count. Really, that's where a lot of the healthiest nutrients are. It's like in the heart, the kidneys, the liver, like have special different type of vitamins and like vitamin K. Yeah. But see, but Esau, he wastes everything.
Right.
But like in our culture, we utilize everything, bro. The hide, like Gad. When they're out here, they utilize everything on the water buffalo. Just for Esau's ass, just come over here and just shoot him, to try to starve Gad out and just. Yeah. But the Lord, if it's a clean animal, bro, shit, from the, use that mug. Yeah. Everything.
Yeah. But you go ahead and get your point.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 1 and verse 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scorners.
David said, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, right? Following, ultimately just following the crowd. Because guess what? Majority of the people, they're wicked. There's a reason why we say 2/3. 2/3 is more than a 1/3. Meaning majority of people is going to be wicked. Hell, scriptures go into John 15 chapter, John 17 chapter, goes into how pretty much you're not of the world, man, if you're serving YAHAWASHI.
Right.
Right? So therefore you're going to be hated by most people in this world. Right? Be just simply by the way you walking, the way you moving in the spirit of YAHAWASHI. Right? You testifying against the place already. That's already one thing. Hell, you telling people, man, you got to change, you got to repent. Right? You got to do this, you got to do that. They ain't messing with that.
Right.
So it's a blessing. It's a blessing. Hell, it's a blessed fact that the Lord allow us not to walk in the counsel of the ungodly.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because they walk in to their death anyway. Right? Well, we walk into life, man. And we got the path. Yahushua, he paved the way for us. Right? He gave us the path to follow on pretty much what a perfect man would be on the earth.
Right.
Right? Even though we're not going to master it, we strive for it. We strive for mastery. As people say. Was that it on that?
Yeah, verse 2. Verse 2, Psalm chapter 1 and verse 2. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night.
Exactly. In the law, you meditate day and night. Now, I ain't saying you just sitting there like just Leviticus the 11th chapter 20. You ain't doing that. All right, which is good to read. But you are meditating like on things that are pleasing unto Yahawashi. Right? Okay, make sure you're doing this, make sure you're doing that. Wisdom being you pretty much in your thoughts before you make a certain decision.
But really, it does be on your mind. Although we're not in the spirit 24/7.
Yeah.
But if you ever notice, you be in the word, you listening to lessons, okay, and then before you know it, you'll try to balance it out, and then you got to go right back to the word because you'll be so vexed about something you was looking at, watching a commercial or whatever the case. Maybe just being around certain people, man.
Yeah.
So it causes you to be like, man, you know what? I got to get back in the word now.
Exactly, man. Dude. Oh, my bad.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say due to us being in the flesh.
Right.
That's the only thing that's ultimately holding us back from being in the spirit 24/7. Right? Because when we get the new body, we're gonna be able to be in the spirit 24/7 then. But it's these bodies that's holding us back. That's literally the last thing that needs to be changed as far as for the elect. Because guess what? It's for the elect, the mind, it's gonna change down here. That's the first thing it's gonna change. But next is gonna be the body. Right? And right now we just getting the mindset part down. Right? I mean, obviously fighting the flesh to do what's right, of course. But Lord, he really looking at that inward man for real. Right? He ain't looking at what you're doing outward so much. Right? You could be at camp, but if your mind not all the way there, Lord gonna look like, man, what kind of bullshit sacrifice is this?
Right.
You don't care if you held posts and all that, but if your mind is on like a whole bunch of other shit, the whole camp, right? Don't think of no pre-subs or just nothing. You just then how you think the Lord feels about it?
Man, I can't wait to go home and snuggle up with my woman.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Shit, that chicken, new spot, right?
Yeah.
New spot. Just in there, just think about other shit and not be locked in.
Yeah.
You know,
Think about that new piece of box you got.
What'd you say?
I said, think about that new piece of box.
Nah, for real. Jay looking in the sky, shit like that.
Yeah.
Not even paying attention to somebody right in front of him. Just giving an example. But you gotta have it's really your mindset in this thing. That's why scriptures goes into, a broken and a contrary spirit that the Lord will not despise.
Right.
So when you do mess up and you actually feel bad about it, the Lord will like, you know what? That's good. Pretty much, man. That's good. That you feel bad about it. You crush in the spirit because majority of people, guess what? They love doing this shit.
Right.
Right? Committing adultery. They love that shit, man. They love sitting there eating that pork, crab, and shrimp. Hell, you might miss shrimp. Tell them it's bad for you, and a demon hops on them like, shit, I'm gonna go harder on it then. Right? Just being a nigga. Not knowing that it's ultimately to their detriment, ultimately. Yeah. But enough dry talking for me. We go ahead and you done with that?
Get the next verse.
Go ahead.
Read verse 2 again. Psalm chapter 1 and verse 2. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and his law doth he meditate day and night. Verse 3, and he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, whatsoever he does shall prosper. Like, pretty much going into keeping the law, statutes, commandments, and the best of your ability, because that way you'll avoid a lot of bullshit that we were doing back in the world. Because once we come into this, we understand that we could have avoided a lot of the stuff that we used to do. We have this truth. Now that we've been given this law, statutes, commandments, now we try to keep it to the best of our ability. Offending less, whatever we can do to try to offend YAHAWASHI less, we're going to do it, to the best of our ability.
Got it. Hey, you go ahead and get that James for us. This is James chapter 4 and verse 4, and it reads, "You adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of thy power." Exactly. So if you're a friend of the world, you're by default an enemy of YAHAWASHI. That's why we got the 1 John. Those that love the world, the love of the Father is not in them. And we went into pretty much detail of like what comes of it. The lust of the flesh, we already got the list on that. The lust of the eyes, adulteries, coveting that for other people's shit. And the pride of life, man. Hell, Esau, he screams pride. Obadiah 1 and 3 goes into the house pride deceived you. Right? And then our people is pretty much, the 2/3 of our people is in that same spirit, man. Their own pride is deceiving them. I'm good, I don't need the Lord. Or if they say, "Oh, I love the Lord," but their action is showing, far in between. Right? Matter of fact, get Titus 1, and I think it's like last verse. Well, you can get it. Titus 1. What is it? I know it's in like closer to the last verses, because it goes into pretty much how they profess the Lord. But
It works to deny him.
yeah,
I got it right here.
Falcon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
You want that?
Yeah, it's last verse.
Okay.
This is Titus chapter 1 and verse 16, and it reads, "They profess that they know the Most High, but in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate." Yeah, that's the majority of our people, man. They talking about they love God, they go to church every Sunday. Some that's deep in it, they be going shit Wednesdays and probably more. I don't know, it usually be Wednesday or Sunday as far as church, right? And call themselves doing something. Right? You go to church, you holier than thou, huh? You holier than holy. But once you get out, man, you straight being a nigga, right? You get that blunt ready. You really waiting to smoke when you got out of church, right? Or we're not. So they profess they didn't know the Lord, but in works they deny, man. Your lifestyle doesn't say that you really understand the Lord, right? That you know His ways, right? Your life shows that ultimately you're disobedient, right? You being wicked. You about to say something? Yeah, man. Back it up, when I was, in the Christian church, I used to question the leadership there, man, about the scriptures, man. And that always led me to know there was something wrong on both levels when it comes to this Bible. I used to question about, just little things like what you're talking about. You have deacons and brothers in there, like, "Hey, man, you need to give it old girl. She kicked old dude to the curb." Stuff like that. And you're looking like, and when you read the scriptures, man, it's like, dude, that ain't even a walk. At the time, we know his name wasn't YAHAWASHI, but when you read the scriptures, you even knew that, that was wrong, man. And not just some things morally in the Christian church, man. When I look back at that stuff, you had to question it, man. And if when I did come to the truth, and when I saw and when I understood this, when it comes to being reprobate and disobedient,
What's up?
when it came to this truth, being disobedient, okay, and that understanding, came to me very clear that we were going out, man. So now when you transition, from where you used to be into this truth, okay, you understand that, hey, man, we were told lies, man, okay, and there was a change that needs to come, with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that you were introduced to.
All right.
I got your big bite.
We good. But I want to tap into the spirit, man. See, because during this grace period, that's how we're gonna be able to make it. By tapping into the Holy Spirit, man. Don't tap more into YAHAWASHI, His ways, His way of thinking. See, That's highly key to be able to make it, man.
Done. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 from the top. Hear therefore, O ye kings, and understand. Learn ye that be judges of the ends of the earth.
That's what we're applying to people. You know, you come into this truth. We ain't just learning all the scriptures just to say, oh yeah, we finna say some scriptures and all that. Nah. We learning the scriptures so we can be able to what? Rule and become judges over the planet Earth, man. You know? And it starts with us, it starts right now. You know, we're rehearsing those acts. You know, and eventually it's gonna lead us to actually issuing out the judgments. Got it, bro.
Yeah, verse 2. Give ear, ye that rule the people, and glory in the multitude of nations.
Yeah, that's what we're getting ready to do. You know, we're in the beginning stages of it right now. Now I want you to jump down to like verse 16.
Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 16. For she goeth about, seeking such as are worthy of her, showeth herself favorably unto them in the ways, and meeteth them in every thought.
Yeah, and that's talking about wisdom, man. You know, that's what we're striving to do. Have wisdom meet us in our thoughts. That's how, because really wisdom, Yahawashi is an embodiment of wisdom. You look at how he lived his life, you know, you see what he stood for, you know, and that's what we do right now in this current time. We apply it to the best of our ability. We trying to emulate that on the planet Earth. Got it, bro.
Verse 17. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline.
Discipline. You know, putting your flesh in subjection, man. You know, what is the lust of the flesh? You know, popping all types of women, you know what I'm saying? Dabbling into all types of drugs, different things like that. That stuff that this world taught you was right. Taught you was good, but when you follow Messiah, you learn to like detach from those things, man. You learn to put this ministry, put serving the Lord first. Does that mean you can't dabble into certain pleasures? Nah, you can do that, but the Lord got to be prioritized, man.
Yep, lawful pleasures.
Lawful pleasures. Got it, bro.
Yep.
And that takes discipline, by the way. You see, Rock 19 and 5.
Yeah, such as, you know, an example, just a quick example is, you know, not having any sex on the Sabbath. You know, a lot of Israelites can't even subject themselves, their flesh for one day. You know, you got 6 days to be popping your woman, but you telling me you can't just, you know, hold back for one day for the Lord?
But they'll hold back for if they go to the military. You know, when it comes to worldly things, they'll hold back for that because people got faith in different things. And most people, they got faith in this world going on forever, man. They see themselves having a spot in this world when they transition to the digital currency. They see themselves still being able to keep making bread. Yeah, I got my passive income going. I'm getting the bag, you know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, they finna implement that device.
All right.
You see that in your hand or in your forehead. If you don't take that device, you're gonna lose access to all your money and all your riches. You see? But we know that device right here, that Revelation 13 and 16, that's the MOTB. That's the mark. If you take that, there's no repentance, man. That's you basically saying that, yeah, my Lord is Esau Edom. These Rothschilds, Oppenheimers, and top banking families. You know, you're my guy. You know, I don't believe in YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI. All right, that's what majority of people are gonna do because they got that bread. Especially the Israelites. The Israelites on this chart, they making that money. Now, is it wrong to make money? No. But the thing is, we know that that's not the end all be all. We understand this currency that we're living in right now is detaching, man. They're getting ready to make this thing digital. And guess what? The way they're gonna finalize is by putting this device inside of you, man. You already got Elon Musk. You got the those putting those chips inside of people, right? And then you have them speaking about making everything digital. Like people have digital passports. In certain countries, they're making it to where they got it on your phone, your ID. That's the only way you can do anything in the country. It's by having that stuff digital. And eventually it's gonna go into your hand or your forehead. If you ain't been building up your faith in this time, you ain't gonna be able to say no to that. You know, if you've been all you've been doing is tapping into the lust of the flesh. When that time comes, you ain't gonna rule it. You're gonna go right there, put your hand out there and take that device, man. You got that Swarm 18 and 5. Wherever y'all got to.
This is Sirach, chapter 19, and verse 5. Whoso taketh pleasures in wickedness shall be condemned. But he that resisteth pleasures crowneth his life.
That's how you crown your life. Everybody say, oh, I love God, I love Jesus. When it comes to doing what he did, nobody want to do that, man. You know, everybody love to say, I love the Lord, man. You know, I believe in the Lord. When it comes to doing some of the stuff that he said in the book, they ain't trying to do it. You know, Jake ain't trying to stop popping other men's women. Jake ain't trying to stop eating unlawful foods, right? But that's what the scriptures say. It said, if you love me, keep my commands. Is that how you're gonna be saved and be delivered? No. That's how you show the Lord you believe in him. Right? You rehearse the righteous acts to the best of your ability.
You know, faith and works. 2 Ezra 9 and 7. You know, can I get that real quick for you? Because it's a balance with the Lord, man. You know, now we know, when we speak about not being saved by the commandments, that's ultimately, you know, when the scriptures go into us not being able to perform, you know, those first covenant standards to its perfection. You know, but as it relates to, you know, fulfilling the spirit of the law and the law of faith, that's possible. And the Lord has made that possible, okay, through the sacrifice of YAHAWASHI and the elect putting on, therefore, YAHAWASHI, like you're going into, put on wisdom. This is 2 Ezra 9 and verse 7. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith.
Yeah, because in a sighted situation, it's not gonna look like it's no way to make it. Whenever they blockade these cities, whenever they bring out that device, whenever they bring out that device and say you can't buy or sell, you can't access your passive income, you can't do nothing unless you put this device in your hand or your forehead, people gonna bend the knee. They gonna take it, man. See? It's very close to getting to that point. See? And when that happens, you don't have to have faith, man. Because like the prophets of old, they went time periods where it was a land that was in famine.
Yeah.
You know, it was the land had a famine and the prophets still ate. The land was being attacked by the Lord or plagued, and the prophets still got taken care of.
Right.
That takes faith though, man. You gotta believe. Most people, they don't believe. Everybody like, I got faith, I believe in the Lord. But then when you actually get put in situations, what do? When an average person gets sick, what they straight call the 911. They don't throw one prayer. They go straight to the doctor and put that fake medicine inside of them, and then that's what they believe in.
Yeah, it's easy to so-called have faith whenever you're still attached to the grid, whenever you still got lights, running water, you know, central AC, central heat, a car with gas in it. It's easy to say you got faith, you know, but the Lord's about to put us all through that test, okay? You know, through the hour in temptation, which shows in Revelation 3 and 10, to where you're going to have to make a decision, okay? See, they got to leave on that, you know, that's spirit. Because, you know, in that hour of temptation, you're going to have to make a decision, man. Okay, either take this chip, okay, and Esau allows you to stay on his grid, maybe not, you know. But y'all saw that? That was spiritual, right? When we was talking about, you know, the hard times coming, you know, having faith off the grid, Jake had to leave, bro.
He usually probably worked out.
Oh, for real?
Yep.
Hey, come on, man.
Yep.
That's why he had that smirk on his face.
Yeah.
You know?
Man. I'm glad you said that, because that gave me some fuel. It's funny now. Yeah, it's funny now. You know, Jake just came up. He know the truth. He didn't say nothing to nobody. He didn't say a word. You know, but I'm glad you said that, brother, because Jake, Jake coming up in the spirit of, it ain't gonna happen. But hey, just wait and see. Wait and see how Yahawashi starts rolling these prophecies in, man. Okay? When this shit start hitting Jake's life like a right and left hook, then they gonna be looking toward the Lord, like the scripture say. You know, they gonna be calling on the name of the Lord, man. A lot of Jakes know the true name of the Lord. Guess what? Yahawashi not gonna hear them, man. Yahawashi ain't gonna be, hey, this whole time that you've been on the earth, you've been bullshit, man. So if you've been bullshit this whole time, or you turned away from Yahawashi, the Lord, Yahawashi ain't lifting up no more prayer for you for the Father, man. All right? If Yahawashi ain't praying for you right now, you dead, man. Yeah, you know?
Go ahead.
No, you're right.
So Romans chapter 3 and whoever. This is alley-oop. Romans chapter 3 and verse 3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect?
Right. So when Jay come up talking shit, or they might be quiet, they may be in their mind talking shit.
Yeah.
Or they talking shit on the comment board, whatever. You know, that's not gonna make the prophecies stand still. One of us falling out of the truth ain't gonna make the prophecy stand still, right, man. Right. You know, Yahawashi is still gonna continue this reality you live in, man. Okay, by His means. What does He say? His words does not go out void, man. Okay, the Heavenly Father Yahweh got to be careful on what He speaks, because when He speaks, it come to pass, man. You know.
And a lot of guys, they think they money or stuff like that gonna be able to cover them in these times, but it's not, man. See, because they believe that the world is gonna go on forever. They gonna keep getting that bag. That's the guy left the truth for.
Yeah.
He started trying to get that money. He started getting a little social media following, you know, trying to do the influencer type of stuff. That's where he's went to. Because he thinks that's gonna be his covering in these times. Man, I'm gonna keep getting that money. I got passive income. Think he good.
Hold that.
But guess what? Your money cannot save you from the Lord's judgment. See, it's not gonna stop those plagues from happening. It's not gonna stop the prophecies from happening. It don't matter how good the Pharisees did it back then. They tried to get all cool with the Romans, and what happened? 70 AD happened, man. See, Esau still will come down with great wrath, whether you want to believe it or not. And all you guys that was once a part of the truth, that you were Israelite, and you took your hand from the plow, you basically said, forget Yahawashi's sacrifice. You went back into the world, and you got a special judgment coming for you, man. See? Because it's all fun and games right now, but guess what? The Lord finna start making people have to answer for what you have done on planet Earth. Got it, bro.
This is the book of Luke. Oh, you had one? Yeah. Okay. This is the book of Luke, chapter 12, and verse 47 in the NLT. And a servant who knows what the master wants, but isn't prepared and doesn't carry out those instructions will be punished severely.
You'll be punished severely, man, because you know better, man. Your parents told you to clean the house, and they get back in this fucking underwear, dishes all nasty. You see, ain't nothing done. You getting your ass whooped, man. It ain't no question. That's how it's gonna be for all you Israelites, man. The Lord told you what to do, but y'all chose to continue on following the lust of the flesh. Trying to get a spot in this world. You see, so like when Yahweh shall return, you gonna know you ain't finna make it, man. All right, and we in that time period. It's drawing near where Yahweh shall gonna make you have to answer. You see, so all you niggas that's been playing games during this grace period, talking shit, getting all this position in the world. Yeah, I'm getting this bread, doing all that, which ain't nothing wrong with making money, but you niggas are prioritizing that over everything, over serving the Lord. So what's gonna happen? The Lord gonna get you over into that shit. Let's see if that money can save you when there's teeth of wild beasts out here. Let's see if that money can save you when these ICBM nuclear warheads getting shot. Let's see if that the money can save you from them chariots beaming rays of light. See, those are all things the Lord promises gonna happen to Babylon the Great. Got it, bro?
Yeah, man. Hey, at Isaiah the 63rd chapter, hey, how's I gonna have fun stomping out 2/3 niggas, man? All right. Be the way of, like the brother mentioned, with his plagues, keep the wild beasts, pestilence, the sword, which is many fashions of the sword, the chariots, all right, leviathans. Okay, the Lord's gonna have fun killing 2/3 of his people, man, because they fucking wicked. His prophets out here week in and week out to tell you the downfall of his place and the uprising of his people, man. And the majority of our people, they fan their hand at Yahawah shot, because it's not us that they fan in the hand at, man. They fan in the hand at the Heavenly Father and the Son. So I got this right here in Zephaniah 1 and 14. The great day of the Lord, it is near, and it hasteneth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. The mighty men, okay? So the 6'6", 300-pounders stay in the gym, lifting 700 off the bench press. All right, the top guys in the military, the Rangers, all right, SEAL Team 6, those type of niggas, they gonna be in that time. Lord said they gonna cry their ability, man. Okay, men of war not gonna be able to stand up to the day of the Lord, man. Okay, verse 15. That day is a day of wrath and a day of trouble, in a distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. All right, so the Lord is setting a picture for you, man. Okay, on how it's gonna be when shit hits the fan. Okay, it's not gonna be a pretty sight. So that's why it's imperative for brothers to be more on point with the will of Yahawah shot, man, and for us to continue to walk the path that the Heavenly Fathers want us to walk, man. Okay, because veering back into the world, that ain't it, man. Okay, back into the world, that's just death, and that's a painful death, man. We read about the kings and terrorists, about the king of terrorists, week in and week out. All right, that's why the Lord boasts. That's why Yahawah boasts about the Exodus so much, man, about what he did for his people. Because guess what? The Lord will do it again. The Lord, if the Lord took the Egyptians like that,
We're going to drop down to verse 18. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath.
All you rich motherfuckers gonna die, man. All you so-called high-value niggas, Andrew Tate ass niggas, fucking Anton Daniels, see, Mark Saint in the center. See, all those guys, they proud because they got the bag on this side. But they don't think once about actually serving the Lord. What do the Lord want me to do on this planet Earth? All they care about is making money. Get that bag. What the finances is going. Money is going to be irrelevant in the times we're coming into. That's why they try to make everything digital so they can control the money. They can be able to make your money off. You see, you might have assets, you might have the different things that you got flowing, but cash flow coming in. They gonna be able to control that shit with the way the system is going. Be able to track where you are. You see how much you can spend, what you can buy. In that time period, if you choose not to bow the knee, you gonna have faith, man. If you ain't been serving the Lord, you ain't gonna have the ability to do that in this time's coming into, man.
Yep. Continuation. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy.
By the fire of his jealousy, man. You see, hey, bro, guess what? If the Lord don't want to have grace upon you and mercy on you, Yahawashi blood ain't upon you, your own blood is gonna get shed, man. That's the time period we're in.
That's gonna be the atonement.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Because you're making a choice. If you want Yahawashi's blood to be upon you, you have to be a disciple of Yahawashi. You gotta follow Yahawashi, man.
Which that word disciple goes back to the word you were emphasizing at first in your sermon. Discipline. That's what Yahawashi was teaching his disciples, was discipline, man. For 3 years straight. You know what I mean? Doing the same things every day, week in and week out. Preaching, teaching, fishing. You know, but I jest, but they did have moments where they were fishing. But nonetheless, but that the work that they were engulfed in was what? The Father's work, man. Yahawashi says, my meat is to do the will of him that sent me and to finish it, man. So that's what we're being disciplined, and that's what we are disciplined to do. And part of discipline, after you do something for such a duration of time, it just becomes you. It just becomes just like working out. Certain brothers, they discipline themselves so much working out, It's just like, okay, there's not even no thought. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna go to the gym after I get off. Before I go to work. You know what I mean? But that's how this truth is, man. This is our life. We eat, sleep, breathe. This truth start with our apostles, man. Submit on down. Like what the fuck else we gonna do? This is all we know at this point, man.
Yeah, but this is our investment. Like a lot of niggas, they'll invest like when they invest in stocks or shit like that. You gotta have some faith for your ass to go in. So for you to invest a high amount of money, so that way whatever you invested in, if it multiplies that money you spent on it, then you balling. You winning off of that investment. But this is what this is, the ultimate investment.
Yeah. You have to be a true man. You have to be a man of true vision. Because a lot of jakes, they like to boast and, act like they got some type of, high level of foresight and wisdom for investing in these particular, companies and whatnot. But bro, if you have faith in your Yahawashi and you're storing up these good works, depending upon whatever your lot may be in this truth that the Lord called you into, and you're doing it with faithfulness, hey, you're making the biggest investment ever, bro. Because everything you're doing right now, you're establishing a legacy that's going to spill over to the world to come for all ages, man, forever. What we're doing is, bro, this is huge. This is the biggest thing, okay, that this earth has ever seen. Okay, Yahawashi even says that in the book of Luke, the 13th chapter, and Matthew the 13th chapter says, for the kingdom of heaven is likened to a mustard seed, which a mustard seed is the least of all herbs as a seed, but it grows to be this big, gigantic tree. You see, but a lot of our people, they don't take this serious because it has very small and humble beginnings. It looks small and minuscule in the sight of these people, in the sight of Esau, and you know what I mean? But just wait. The men that invested into this grassroots business, the kingdom of heaven, the throne of David, just wait until Yahawashi comes back and he increases his government. Like it says in Isaiah the 9th chapter. You would have wished that you would have invested here on this side, man.
Continuation. But he shall make a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land.
Speedy riddance, because you niggas need to be, y'all are like rodents.
Hey, it says in 1 hour is Babylon the Great destroyed.
Yep.
An hour just means a short duration of time because it's reports, bro. You got these particular missiles, they could come over here from China or from Russia within 30 minutes. And as soon as those warheads touch the surface of Babylon the Great, bro, it's over within a matter of 20 minutes for that particular region, man. And Scripture says it's going to be 200 million warheads. When you read Revelation 9th chapter, 200 million, bro. So yeah, speedy riddance. You know what I mean? Right now, you see these niggas flourishing, just popping up everywhere. Big Shirley just spawning all these nigglets. But the Lord's going to make a speedy riddance. You know what I mean?
Well, that's Isaiah 34. He said, I got a great sacrifice and fossil. See, so a lot of these niggas ain't nothing but fuel for the fire. The Lord wants your ass to be wicked. He want Big Shirley's. He want Bookies. He want Pablo, Esteban, all you tribes. Lord want all you niggas to keep being wicked, keep being rappers, keep being basketball, football players. Yeah, drug dealers, killers. You know, making music. Nigga do all this stuff. Influencer. That's the that's the society all about. Niggas making influencer. You know what I'm saying? That's all it's about. Niggas want to get fame and glory.
Yep.
See, but we're gonna get glory eternally, man.
Right.
That, like, as a matter of fact, brother, get that first Maccabees, the second chapter where it says they should have an everlasting name, give your lives fervently for the ministry. That's why our forefathers they had that mindset of the kingdom, man. They was looking for the bigger picture. See, and that's the elect will have that mindset of faith, looking at what your Lord finna do. The Lord gonna bless us forever. You can have your little time of having the bread. You know, I'm gonna be this top influencer, this top rapper. You gonna get your little 4 or 5 years of fame, and then you gonna dwindle down, man. See, that's what this world is, all temporary, man. Give you a temporary little win, but the Lord said we're gonna win forever in the kingdom, man.
And in order to get that temporary little win, you gotta bow down, you know, and do freaky acts, to these so-called, world leaders that said eat little humans. Yep. And drink their red stuff that comes out of them, man. Do all different types of other abominable things we don't even know about yet. Yep. So that's the only way you can really, have some type of level of prestige or honor here on this side. You got to ultimately bow down to Satan, bro. Yep. Which Yahawashi himself was literally tempted by the spiritual demon Satan. When you read Matthew 4 and Luke 4, those accounts when you read Matthew 4 and Luke 4, it just speaks about those three temptations. So really, the whole duration of Yahawashi's time of fasting, which a question for you brothers on the other side: how many days was Yahawashi fasting?
40 days and 40 nights.
God, that's it. 40 days and 40 nights. So throughout that whole 40-day period, Yahawashi was being tested. Okay. By the spiritual demon, well, he was being tempted by the spiritual demon Satan, but being tested by the Most High. You see? And Satan, actually, tried to give Yahawashi, a condition. Like, hey, if you bow down and worship me, I'll give you all of this. But what was Yahawashi doing to combat him? Okay, pointing out to rightly divide the scriptures, man. Because Satan came with the scriptures too. He brought out Psalms 91, proving that these fucking demons, they know scriptures. Okay, but they don't rightly divide it. They twist it, distort them. See, so that's the importance of having that spiritual armor, which is being clothed with the mind of Yahawah and knowing these scriptures and knowing how to rightly divide it. Because Satan, he's gonna come as an angel of light. He ain't gonna tell you, hey, I'm Satan. Your woman ain't gonna say, hey, I'm working for Satan right now. No, you gotta be able to discern and detect that through the spirit by understanding the will of the Lord and by understanding these scriptures, man. So that's how Yahawashi passed. So he put his own game. But that's one of my favorite accounts to actually go in and just really dissect and analyze. Because we're all being faced with that right now. The Revelation 3 and 10, that's Satan, tempting you, to bow down if you want to continue to partake into this demonic ass shock. So that's really the same conditions that was laid out to Yahawashi.
Yep. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 15 and 16. Yeah, because real quick, you brought out ISRAELITES about how Yahawashi, he had to suffer in the flesh. He had to go through his hour of temptation, multiple tribulations, right? So this is just a precept to back that up. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 15 and 16. For we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted, like as we are, yet without sin.
Satan, if I can add, Satan was trying to tempt Yahawashi to enter into that glory without going through that straight gate.
Yep.
That's Revelation 3 and 10 for us. You know, because glory is promised, but it's not promised on this side. See, Esau, he does everything. He wants to give you this shit quick. Here, I can give you this quick with no pain attached. You see, but no, it's gonna be pain. We gotta prepare our minds for pain. We gotta prepare our minds for that straight gate in order to enter to that glory. There's only one way. It's only one way to it. 2 Ezra 7 chapter. See, so that's what Satan was tempting Yahawashi with, man. Is try to, you know, sidestep going to the cross, and just you know, go ahead and start, you know, his rulership right there.
Yep. It's like how you mentioned what Jay got to do just to get those these glories, if you will, on this side. What Satan gives you, it's gonna be quick, it's gonna be nasty, but it's also gonna be short.
Right.
You know, it's not gonna be forever. So when Jake lay down and he do these wicked acts for Esau Edom, these niggas are contracted, man. They have agents that they adhere to, and these contracts that they sign. Okay, it only gives them a set amount of time to do what they want. You know, on this side, either they gotta, and at the end of that contract, they either gonna die or they gonna sacrifice to continue on. You know, so that's the type of bullshit that Jake is involved in. And the elder Yashwamba, he was going into this Tuesday, like and we always say this too. You know, it's better for us to be here on this side of things than to be in the world with hella riches, man.
Yeah.
You know, and fuck that shit. Those riches are tainted, so they're not real riches. You know?
Hey, if I could add, but if I can add what the preacher said here, that made me think about the movie Matrix.
Yep.
You know, you had that one Judas nigga. You know, he got tired because Scripture says, you know, for much knowledge and much wisdom, there's grief and bitterness. He got tired of being exposed to, you know, all the knowledge, and you know, so he wanted to go back to the Matrix. So he made that deal. Just give me that, you know, just give me those possessions of the world. You know, let me be that man that I always wanted to be in the Matrix. But when you continue to watch the movie, he never even had a chance to do that. So he sold out for no fucking reason, man. You know, and especially now, bro. If you go back into the world, bro, listen, bro. World War III is here, bro. Trump can strike Iran at any day now.
Yep.
Like, bro, this shit is popping off. So what the fuck you look like, you know, going back to the world now? You know what I mean? In 2026, bro.
Yeah.
They openly talking about the brain chip, the microchip, winning the race of 6G, trying to create immortality outside. Come on, man. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So we ain't got, bro. We ain't got nothing to lose but everything to gain, bro.
You want to sit on the bench in the fourth quarter with 2 seconds left. You're a fucking loser, man.
Man.
You know? You're a loser.
Right.
Hebrews 4:16. Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need.
That's what we need. That grace gonna come through Yahawashi's help, man. See, a lot of guys they trust in other things. They don't trust in Yahawashi's saving power, man. See, that's why you had them in the wilderness. They were trying to go back to Egypt.
Yep.
You see, they didn't want to look at that bronze. They didn't want to. Hey, some Israelites didn't want to look at the bronze serpent to not die by those snakes, man.
Mix the onions.
Oh yeah, they was thinking about all the stuff they had in the world, looking back like Lot's wife.
Yep.
And guess what? Looking back is gonna be the reason most people don't make it, man. They too busy trying to look at this temporary kingdom, while the Lord promised us the eternal kingdom, man. See, now is it gonna come easy? No, but really, honestly, if you're being honest, nothing comes easy. And if you want to be the man on this side, it's gonna take a lot of sacrifice and hell too, man. So really, is everybody's making a choice. See, brother, get Mark 8 and then whatever else y'all got to.
God. I had that First Timothy for you.
Oh, yeah.
One of that. So First Timothy, chapter 6, and I'll read right here in verse 9 in the NLT version. It says, "But people who long to be rich fall into temptation and are trapped by many foolish and harmful desires that plunge them into ruin and destruction."
It plunges you into ruin and destruction, man. Because guess what? What is Esau's what is having riches in Esau's kingdom make people do? It ties you into having to do a lot of idol worship. A lot of these idols that Jacob worship, Baal, Molech, sacrificing their kid. it'll promise them to get riches. You know, they doing all these orgies and doing all this wickedness. They'll get some type of some on the left hand side a reward. You see, and that's all these type of leaders doing. They're making you commit idol worship. You see, because they praying to demons, they communing with CERN, doing all this wicked stuff. When you want to be the man of this world, they're gonna have you doing all types of idolatrous stuff. Have to turn your back on the Lord, man. See, that's where the wickedness and the transgression come in at. Because that says they that desire to be rich. Esau gonna make you sacrifice something. I ain't finna give you no money. What you gonna do for this money? You love your mama? I want to attack something you love. Or you love your cousin? You see all these rappers, their cousin died, his mama died, his dad died. See? Or you see a fucking kid turn into a thing one or thing two. You see?
It can make you touch your toes.
Yeah, look at Will Smith and Dwayne Wade. Look at their kids, man. Them niggas making bread though. They rich, right? But they had sacrifice, man.
And they're also miserable too, though.
Hell yeah.
That's one thing they don't ever talk about. You know, bro, these motherfuckers are miserable. They can't sleep. They're hooked on fucking drugs. Like these are the biggest drug users. So you know what I mean? Because they know, bro. They know what they did. But they're at the point of no fucking return. They already sold their soul, man.
Yeah, can I say something real quick? What's the scripture in Ephesians, the 2nd chapter, in the beginning, where it talked about we were once estranged from the Lord, what's in the world? That alone being out of the, not in the truth, not having the Spirit on you. That alone right there is punishment enough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can have no infirmities, all the money in the world, blah, 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 but you don't got the Spirit and you an Israelite, you coming up short. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the judgment and the destruction is going to come. We're basically in those times now, right? But just even being in this world, you're going to catch hell. You're going to catch hell. I don't care how much money you got. You're going to catch hell, man. And without the Spirit of the Lord to comfort you, the Comforter, the Spirit of YAHAWASHI, okay, it's not going to be a pleasant a pleasant thing. Somebody got that? Ephesians, I'll find it. It's like Ephesians 2. 1, Ephesians 2 and 3.
It's like
Go finish.
this is 1 Timothy, going back, 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 10 in the NLT. Yeah. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil.
So not having money is evil. It's the love of money to the point where you willing to do anything for it. Whether that's you turning against your power, that's you having to sacrifice one of the person that fucking raised you. they sacrifice their whole life, what, 18, whatever, however many years you live with your parents, all that for them to say, yeah, fuck you, I'm gonna sacrifice you so I can get that back. You know what I'm saying? They don't got no. That's how spirit they got on.
No. I was just gonna say back up shit. What that nigga Kanye say? He said, I sacrificed my mama for this shit in front of a whole crowd. Niggas doing a performance. Niggas thought he was just talking back in the day. No. That's how Esau get down, man.
Or even take your manhood.
Yep.
That dudes take a man. Part of you being a man is you having you ain't supposed to be getting bitten over, getting that stuff done to you.
Yep.
See, but they get that gets taken away from them when they tap into that area, man.
Yeah.
Oh, like little nasty nigga X. Remember a few years ago he was twerking on that.
Yep.
Twerk like God damn.
Lil Nas X.
Yeah, I call him little nasty nigga X.
Yeah, well, what happened? That nigga fizzled out. He
Yeah.
was like one of the 2020 niggas that was like super famous and tried to push it on Jake.
Yep.
That nigga fizzled out.
Yeah.
Just like Sexy Red. She fizzled that.
I think ever since he dropped that shit, he just declined. Cool.
So that's why Yahawashi says, what does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Like, bro, you gonna fizzle out. You gonna be like one hit wonders like fucking Chameleonaire. You know what I mean? Kingy.
So the
You remember Chingy?
Yeah.
Right there, right? Like, damn. You know what I mean? But
a lot of them their profession they're a rapper, but now you got a lot of them becoming podcasters, doing YouTube videos and shit. Nigga, I thought you was a rapper, but that guess what? That rap career is decline, man. That nigga ain't sacrificing no more. Oh damn, I don't want to sacrifice no more. So now your ass ain't on no billboards no more. They ain't promoting your shit no more.
and you bankrupt the next year.
Nigga doing ads on TikTok. Hurt. Can't pay no bills.
So I'll much rather, like you said, bro, like what Elder Yashwamba said, we'd much rather just stay where we at. Proverbs chapter 30. King Solomon says, "Give me neither riches nor poverty, but feed me with food convenient for me." Like, bro, the Lord, hey, man, just keep us right in the middle, so we can, do your work, hold it down until you come back, and then we're gonna inherit durable riches, man. Riches, not fuck riches, no wealth, man. We're gonna have wealth, like true substance. We're gonna have human resources. You're gonna have your own money with your face on it. You know what I mean? He got his own money. He got his own money. Lisa, you did it, baby. You know what I mean? That's what we waiting on, bro.
And it's building up our kingdom.
Yep.
Bro, you getting bread here, you building up a whole other motherfucking shit, man. This ain't your shit. Israelites, Hispanics, Native American Indians, you building up Esau's infrastructure, man. You ain't in those meetings. They discuss, oh yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna have this nation go to war. We're gonna put this device inside of them. You ain't in those meetings. Because guess what? You're fucking irrelevant, man.
Yep.
You're still looked at as 3/5 of a fucking human, man.
Yeah,
To this day. To them, yeah, Goyim. They call you a fucking nation. You see? You ain't no ruler. Esau's the one ruling right now. He don't have no part. You niggas ain't gonna have no part in that NWO. He don't plan on you having a part.
But they released some. They released like over 6.7 million, papers or emails in that Easting deal, which is way more than that. But that's just what they released, 6.7 million. That right there is a lot. So one thing. But anyway, in one of those emails, they was talking about hunting niggers. They were just talking about that. Oh, yeah, we need to hunt these niggers, and like it was a game or something. You know what I mean? So like what you were saying, Jake think that Esau gonna cut him a slice of pie. He had a change of heart after he done so-called emancipated you off the no, bro. All right, that perpetual hatred. And that's he's about to remind you who he is, man. All right. 1 Timothy 6:10 again in the NOT. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. And some people say, it says, and some people craving money have wandered from the true faith and pierced themselves with many sorrows.
That's many sorrows, man.
Yep.
To know that you killed your parents, man. To know that you doing all this sacrifice and all this wickedness to build up another motherfucking kingdom that's gonna still look at you like a fucking nigga, man. You know, but a little rat to him, man. See, they don't give a fuck about you Israelites, bro. That's why they'll easily. You saw how he did. They like you talking about Kanye. Look how he did him. They completely took that nigga money.
That nigga was a billionaire, then a millionaire overnight. Yep. That's how Esau can do it, nigga. Principal, but take all his funds away.
Yeah, and Jake act like Esau has to love him, bro. Why he gotta love you? And why should you love him? You know what I mean? Like, bro, we not over here stressing, oh man, Esau hates us, bro. We don't give a fuck. We hate him more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the Lord hates him more. The Lord created him before he even did any good or any evil to hate him. According to predestination, the Lord created these Edomites for a specific reason. Okay? And that's ultimately for his purposes, to create this great movie that we in, but ultimately to be a thorn in the sides of the sons of God, man. To be the thorn in the side of the Israelites. Okay, to be that chastisement, that rod of chastisement that the Lord puts upon our ass whenever we get out of line. Just like your parents, they had their favorite belt to whoop your ass with. They had a lot of belts because the Lord, he created a lot of nations that he judges with. But it was that one belt, and I know the one I'm thinking in my head. But our parents had that one belt they love to go to. As soon as you hear that bedroom cabinet, yeah, you hear that, yeah, you know. Oh shit, I already know what she about to get. But that's Esau. Esau is the Lord's favorite belt that he puts on our ass. That's why he was created. But see, our captivity, our affliction is at an end. So that means what? He's at an end. The Lord's about to put that belt up for good.
That's right. Yep, I got you. Yep. Sirach, chapter 12 and verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
Yeah, but that's what the scriptures name your enemies. You go to Psalms 83. It names Esau first, man. He's always been our enemy. See, these top elite, top begging families ain't your friends, bro. See, they the ones that's funding this musical industry. They funding the medicine and the pharmacy, which is killing y'all ass. They funding all this stuff, man. So guess what? To keep you Israelites on the bottom and to destroy you niggas, man. See? And when you try and have a spot in this world, you're helping keeping them on top. You helping because that's how Egypt stayed on top when they had us in captivity. See? So all these jakes, it's all into the world. Yeah, I'm trying to have a spot in this world. I want to have covenants with Esau. You ever build up a wicked ass kingdom, man? You see, that's made to destroy you, man. Keep you on bottom.
I got one.
Also like
Sirach 12 and verse 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching,
Yeah, I'm gonna give you some money. Yeah, we're gonna make a lot of new jobs. You heard Trump talking. We're gonna make a lot of new jobs, man.
Right.
Yeah, the economy's gonna be fixed. They'll do all that sweet talking. Meanwhile, the niggas kicking half years like out the fucking America, man. He got ICE over here throwing y'all ass off ships. You see, it's actually motherfuckers that was actually here. They got their ass kicked out, man. Getting shot. You see, getting tossed out their goddamn house, man. See. Meanwhile, you got PEDOs walking around. You see these Edomites walking carefree, but they tossing your ass out, man. See, you gonna tell you why? Because we're in a wicked rulership, man, under our enemy, our oppressor. And as long as you continue to keep trying to fight for this world, you trying to hold on to all this stuff, you're helping. Hey, you're really just fulfilling prophecy, man. Because Lord is gonna destroy you and all you people who want this world to go on, man. Got it, bro.
verse 11 again in Sirach the 12th chapter. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him.
Yeah, beware of him, man. Don't forget this is the same nigga that had the Native American Removal Acts. This is the same guy, man, that had the transatlantic slave trade. You see, this is the same guy. The same guy who was doing all that killing during the civil rights movement, the KKK. This is the same nigga, man. The same guy who did all those he was doing all them tests. I forgot what they call it. But he was doing all them tests on those Jakes, man. That was the Tuskegee, yeah, the Tuskegee Airmen shit, man. This is the same dude, man, that y'all want to trust, man. And as long as you continue to keep trusting him, he gonna continue to keep fucking you up. And we happy he's doing that, man. Continue to keep loving that devil. Because guess what? He's showing his horns. Hey, them horns sticking out way more and more, man. See? To the point where that motherfucker looking just like Hellboy. All right, and we happy he saw it. We laugh at it. We see a nigga getting fucked up. You tell you why? Because the men of the Lord been out here for years, decades, preaching this truth, telling you to repent, man, telling you not to trust your enemy. But what do y'all want to do? See, all the way y'all saying white man can't make it. The Gentile, all this bull. Y'all want to come against the truth, man. The Lord set up a kingdom for you to rule forever. You supposed to be a king and a priest, but your ass want to stay being a slave, man. What kind of shit do that make, man? And a kingdom that's foundationalized off straight wickedness. Your kids looking at some two of the same things kissing each other, man. Through, man.
You don't even know what you feed your kids, man, your children. You know what I mean? Like, damn. Like, you gotta, but it was, I was looking at this article today that came out. A lot of schools out here in Texas and, DFW area, they, because it's like around the time of year where they do the yearly, yearbook pictures. Well, they, a lot of these schools, they, they're like, hey, because of, the stuff that's been coming out on East Thing, we decide not to have yearbook pictures this year. Because a part of some of those emails, in East Thing's files, they were saying that, like, that's why they implemented yearbook pictures. And so they could just take their pick of what child they fucking want, man. So why the fuck you want to have a life here, bro? You raise up your children, okay, it's picture day, and you get that's why they emphasize to the children, make sure you look your best tomorrow. Just for some fucking old crusty ass Edomite just slobbering after your son. Not even looking at your daughter, but after your son. Yeah. This place is wicked, bro. And this just the tip of the iceberg. YAHAWASHI is gonna reveal everything when he comes, and we gotta be new bodies to take that, bro. We're gonna have to be because, bro, we look and we meditate on this shit that these devils doing now, and we just shake with anger. But if YAHAWASHI really show us the full scoop right now, we gotta be changed. That's why Ezekiel 25 says what it says. I will lay my fury upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. Once the Lord really shows us everything you fucking devils did, man, we don't know how you're gonna take that judgment, bro, for real.
Yep.
This
Just to back you up, but this is this is our power that's letting it happen in earth. This is who everybody think is all love, man. It's just stuck on this is who everybody think the all powerful is just stuck on one fucking emotion, man.
No. You know, the Heavenly Father let all types of wickedness go out in the planet Earth. Okay? Why? Just so it can continue to stack up until the Lord say, all right, you know, that's enough. And then he sent his son back. And then he started putting all hell on everybody that he deems wicked, man. You know, that's why the Lord say what? So when I return, shall I find faith on the earth? Because when the Lord come, nigga, everybody gonna lay down, man.
Right.
That's how it's gonna be. Everybody gonna bow when Yahweh shall return, man. You know, it's gonna be all types of destruction through the planet Earth, to where dead motherfucker there, dead motherfucker there. How he good? What he done,
Man.
You know. So hey, we gonna see.
Matter of fact, we get that.
Yeah, he's showing us the result of what happens whenever the sons of God are not in their proper order, man. Whenever his way is not implemented throughout the earth. Because the Lord he could have created this whole time period to where, you know, all we knew is good. That's it. You know, to where there's never such a thing as the fall. You know, he could have created the movie like that, but he didn't want to. He wanted us to see what happens, okay, whenever his divine orders in the earth are not executed. All right. And this is also a part of the Lord, okay, displaying his fairness, okay, and his equity. He allowed all you fucking heathens to have your little time, man. Okay? So we don't want to hear shit when it's our time, man. And it's our time. 2 Ezra 6 and 9. All right. So all you nations, bro, y'all done enjoyed our land, and not just our land, but this whole world longer than we have. And it was created for us. First and foremost, created for by and for YAHAWASHI. And y'all have had possession longer, okay, than we have. Okay? So we're coming back into our rightful positions underneath YAHAWASHI, man. You know?
Matter of fact, let's get Revelation 2 proper shot.
God.
Revelation 2 goes into that, man. A lot of guys don't even know what they fighting for. But what does the Lord promise to his servants, man? He said, my servants shall eat. My servants shall be merry and have abundance, man. That's what's going to be protected. It's going to be all hell breaking loose, evils breaking on the earth. But guess what? Those who are serving the Lord have a way to get protected and be shielded from that, man. See? Being inside the spiritual ark. You got it, bro.
Revelation chapter 2 and 25. But that which you have already, hold fast till I come.
Which is not easy, man. It's not going to be easy to keep the faith. Satan is going to come at us harder. You know, speak myself first and foremost, try and keep that mindset, understanding that, man, we finna have to fight for this. We finna have to fight for this blessing, bro.
Man,
Lord finna come at us in ways we not used to.
gotta be like our forefather Jacob. And understand, we're gonna be touched. The Lord, hey, that angel, which we believe through the spirit, that angel was YAHAWASHI. Hey, just like that angel touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh, Jacob, he wasn't worried about that. He was locked into that blessing, bro. Like, that's how locked in we gotta be on the blessings and promises that the Lord gave us, to where these particular infirmities and uncomfortable situations, we're not even fucking thinking about that shit. Okay? Because it's going to come. We already expecting the Lord to touch us. He already told us, man, hey, in this world, you're going to have many sorrows, many tribulations, but be of good cheer. So we got our eyes locked in on that blessing. Like the angel told Jacob, you know, let me go. And he says, I'm not going to let you go till you give me my blessing. All right? So that's what we hold on to, like what you just said. But it's not going to be easy. Because we're in the process of, we're going to have to fight injured. We're going to be touched. We're going to be hurt. We're going to be through. But hey, man, hey, the Lord has given us something to fight for. Sirach 4:28. Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for you, man.
Yeah, man, it's not gonna feel good, man. That's like Christianity in this world teach you that you always gotta feel good, man. Hey, getting to the kingdom ain't gonna feel good. You're gonna be hurt.
Yep.
You're gonna lose certain ones you loved. And he's gonna have to take that like Ezekiel. Well, Lord killed Ezekiel's wife.
Man.
He killed his wife and said, you better not mourn for her, man. So we're gonna have to see motherfuckers that we love, or you might have your woman turn on you. You might lose your children. Man, you're gonna have to walk away from this job, even his own body, our own life. Our own life lives will be lost. Really, it's not lost, because guess what? We worship the power of controls when you die. See? That's why men rose back up in the past. You know, Mary's brother Lazarus. The Lord controls when you die. That spirit, the Lord can get that spirit right back and then put it right back in there. That's the power we worship. So he's above all this stuff, but it's the flesh. It's not gonna feel good. We're getting tested to see how much you believe in that, man. That's why I said hold fast so I come. It's gonna be a fight, man. We're gonna have to really fight to get to the kingdom. Got it, bro.
Revelation 2 and 26. And he that overcometh,
Yep, overcome it. We got to get that word overcome too.
not KO.
Oh yeah, that hey man, the Lord gonna test, like just like we keep saying it. Brothers watch anime. I know a lot of brothers probably been watch anime before. You look at Goku. Goku be getting his ass whooped before he get that new transformation. that ain't gonna be getting towed up. He damn near dead. Then he finally get a new transformation.
Man.
That's how Lord gonna do us. We gonna test our faith all the way to that max level. So it's like, damn, we dead. And the Lord's come through with something, man. Glory to glory. No, it's gonna be hard, man. Just like our forefathers, man. They was in situations where it's like, if it's a lion's den, big ass, and the animals was bigger back then.
No way out.
Yeah, big ass lions, they hungry too.
Big ass lines.
Man, going into a fire,
Man.
those 3 men went into a fire. That's how hard they believed in YAHAWASHI. You like you be scared. You might kind of burn yourself a little bit. You could, goddamn. They went into a fire.
Yeah.
That takes faith, man. Even Goliath, this big giant nigga built like a basketball goal.
Nigga 9 feet tall.
Shit, huge. His spirit the size of a human and shit. And David wasn't scared of him. That takes faith, man. That's what we want to tap into that. That's what we was kind of going to the beginning of the sermon. We gotta tap into the spiritual because the Lord is above all this stuff.
That's gonna be the only option we got. The Lord's gonna put us in a situation to where the only thing we have is faith. It's either you have faith or you have nothing. And that's what the Lord is putting our backs up against. Yep. He's putting our backs up against those ropes, man. Either you got faith or you got nothing, man. Because then you look at the situation we in, and we know that the Lord is going to allow Esau to progress some more as it relates to this enterprise that he's setting up. As Esau continues to progress, as the Lord is making him progress, like he built Pharaoh up, it's going to look like, bro, there's no way out of this. I mean, it already looks like that, but it's gonna look like it even more. And at that point, a lot of Israelites gonna be like, "Oh, I don't know." And they're gonna start thinking about that chip, like, "Oh shit," That's why it's known as the hour of temptation. It's gonna be tempting as fuck, man.
Yep.
Even for those that's in the faith. Now, of course, the elect, they're not gonna take it. But it's still gonna be a test. You're gonna oh shit, you're gonna have to make a conscious decision not to take that. Yeah. Here's the definition or the word. Yeah, for the word nakeo or salaki. Overcometh is nakeo. Strong's G 3528. To conquer, to carry off the victory.
Carry off the victory, man. That's what we gotta fully hold fast to that faith in YAHAWASHI. Even when the sight get bad, it ain't nothing to eat. You can't go inside the city. You just have to walk away from your house. You out in the wilderness. You just walking. You don't know where the fuck you going. You see what I'm saying? We ain't used to be in a scenario like that where you don't know where the fuck you at, where you going. You just like, hey, just got to trust in the Lord. But the Lord was with men in those times.
That's how Abraham was.
Hell yeah.
Hebrews 11, it says he by faith, he sojourned in the land, not knowing where he was going. It was like the Lord just possessed Abraham. He was just, But that's how we moving in the spirit, man. And that's how we got to continue to move. It's like, bro, I can just speak from firsthand experience. It just be like, man, some mornings, like I just like that morning just flies by. I don't even remember what I did. It's just like I just got up. It was just like routine. It's like I'm like, y'all remember that scene off of Upgrade?
Oh yeah.
When Stem had activated and he was just whooping that nigga's head, just doing stuff. Like that's how the Holy Spirit is inside of believers, man. This is like you catch yourself doing things and saying things like, bro, like you're in your head, you're like, bro, this is like, wow. That's bro. Man, that's a beautiful thing. That's what we hope and pray that we don't lose. Because we know what that is inside of us. That's the Holy Spirit. Even when you get that word sons in the Greek, when you read 1 John the 3rd chapter, it says, behold, what manner of love the Most High has bestowed upon us, that we should be the sons of the Most High. Yep. When you get that Greek word sons there in that scripture is teknon. And when you go down to the definition, it says possessed, of individuals possessed. So being a son of the Most, you're possessed, bro. Look at YAHAWASHI, bro. He was possessed of the Most High, man. Like, now, of course, he was still in the flesh and he had feelings and infirmity, you know what I mean? But he was still dead set on that mission because it was the Most High working through YAHAWASHI to get that job done, man. So YAHAWASHI is working through his men to get the job done, bro. That's the only way that we can even get the victory. The Lord got his spirit, just got to take over, bro. Because this flesh ain't got no power over this world, bro. The spirit has to take over. Yeah. Some more in this definition, it says to come off victorious of Yahawashi, victorious over all his foes.
Oh yeah, because we got foes, man. Majority of our people, we got enemies at this time, man. They gonna turn against us. They gonna persecute us. Esau is gonna persecute us. But guess what? How do we get that victory? Through believing all the way through, man. Because guess what? They gonna monitor certain men. They say, yeah, we killed them niggas. Yeah, we killed them. They don't think they done beheaded us. And then guess what? When Yahweh shall return, he gonna put that spirit right back in. They gonna raise right back up. It ain't nothing you can do to stop this truth, man. See, only everybody's playing their role, and we just hope to be on the role of the winners, the role of the elect, chosen, man.
Yeah. It says of Hamashiachim that hold fast their faith even unto death against the power of their foes and temptations and persecutions.
That our folk got a lot of power. We've been talking about it this whole time. This motherfucker controlling the food. He controlling your money. You see what I'm saying? He gonna have some. He got this satellites where he can track exactly where you at. You see? He got that Palantir technology. Hey, but how you gonna get that victory? Through faith on Yahweh Shai, man. You see? Oh yeah.
Get out.
Yeah, hey, through faith on Yahweh Shai is how we gonna get that victory, man. And he promised that his servants gonna be protected. Yeah, Esau got all this stuff going on, all this power. But guess what? He's gonna protect his servants, the man that's following Yahweh Bashem Shai. They got protection. They have angels protecting them, keep them safe and keep them alive, man.
Preach and read.
Now, Malak teacher.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ready, brother.
I guess second Ezra 6. Like that. So.
Second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 57. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been imputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. Second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 57. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathens, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us.
Yep, and that's the predicament that we're in right now. You know, these heathen are above us in every way, every facet. You know, telling us exactly, what to do, giving barking orders at the job. Barking orders over your whole life, telling you when and pay taxes, pulling you over, right? These heathen, chiefly Esau, Edom, man. But they're reputed as nothing. You see? Go ahead.
Second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 58. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands.
Right.
Second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 58. But we, thy people,
meaning the Israelites, okay? Go ahead.
whom thou hast called thy firstborn.
Yep. Who thou hast called thy firstborn, right? And that's that's not necessarily true. Or how can you how can a Christian prove this, man?
Right.
Because was Israel the first nation? In a spiritual sense, yes. But in the physical sense, no. See? All right, because you have the nation of Abraham, then came Isaac and Jacob, and Isaac had his two sons, which was Jacob and Esau, right? But the nation of Israel wasn't necessarily the firstborn, but we are the firstborn, being the only begotten, pretty much meaning that the Lord is we're pretty much the Lord's chosen, the favorite. All right, the chosen generation, the chosen priesthood, a royal priesthood, right? It says in First Peter.
If I may add too, just like people believe that Adam was the first man on the earth. No, he wasn't. He was just the first to receive the breath of Yahawah, which is ultimately gives you life, right? And that breath was passed down through a particular seed line, right? As the priest talked about. So that goes all into being the firstborn, the first fruits. Okay, those are those Alahayim right? Which was those select spirits that were with Yahawashi in the very beginning in the creation period. Okay, so this is talking about a lineage and a family line. That's what the Bible follows, right? If you can receive it, those that receive the breath.
Yeah, like Isaac, you know, the Lord said that Isaac was his only son, you know, thine only son, is because it was love. Yeah, only begotten, you know, because that was his you know, the son that was chosen, right? You see, and that's the same with Israel. All right, Israel meaning what? Y'all brothers know what Israel means, or how to pronounce it in the Hebrew.
Y'all know this.
I know it. Y'all been out here long enough.
How do we break out of sin? What's that? What is how do you say Israel in the Hebrew?
You got it?
Y'all know how we close out it. I'll give you a hint. It's how we say it every time we close camp.
Quam.
Yeah, Yahshua.
Yeah,
Yeah. Now, what does it mean? It's okay if you don't know.
Yeah,
We out here to
break it
learn.
down. Yah, Allah.
Yep. If you think about it, you know, word by word,
Right.
but that's really how you understand the scriptures. You gotta go into the definitions, even
Right.
of words that you think that you know. You know, the words that are kind of overlooked. We say these words all the time, but when we get them in the blue letter, they have a deeper implication. They have a deeper meaning that you can't fully comprehend.
Absolutely.
With the English, or I won't say comprehend. I'll say that the language doesn't convey.
Right.
All right. Yashra Allah, that being named Israel, right, means he prince power. He is a prince of the power, or an inheritor of the throne. That's what a prince would be. You see? So when it says only begotten, or only read verse 58 again.
2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 58. But we thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten.
Right? Thy people who thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten. He you know, makes a point on that 3 times. Right? Go ahead.
From the top, 2nd Ezra 6 and 58. But we thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands.
Mhm.
If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world?
Right? If the world was made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? You know? And the next chapter, because Ezra asked a a real serious question, man. That's a genuine question.
Right.
If this is our world, if we're supposed to inherit the whole world and everything within it, why are we at the bottom
Right.
of the caste system? Why are we, isolated, called by different bywords, proverbs, downtrodden? Why every time you try to get up in life, it seems like you're being held back, you know? That's because it's something greater, a greater glory, right? Which before that comes a test, a trial to see if we are prepared to inherit the kingdom, right? Let's keep reading to the end of that chapter.
So I may say that's why Yahawashi said, if this was my kingdom, my servant shall fight. I let them know that this is not our rest. This ain't our kingdom. That's why.
Yeah.
All right.
Because when you read the context of this chapter, Ezra is going into the creator or the angel speaking to Ezra about the creation of the earth, and how things were from the beginning, and through Adam, and after everything, the creation story, and then the birth, of Adam and how he came. You see it in the nations, and we were promised an inheritance. But why is the nation in that state right now? Which the nation at the time was being conquered by the Assyrian empires. And
Hold on. What's that? During what time?
during the time of Ezra.
Nah, that's the Persian. Persian.
The Persian slot by the Persian empire. And they were in a downtrodden state. You got it.
I'm gonna read that from the top because I didn't finish it. 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 59. If the world now be made for our sakes, Why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure?
How long shall this endure? Go ahead.
2 Ezra chapter 17 and verse 1.
No, 7.
Oh, my bad.
Good.
My bad. 2 Ezra chapter 7 and verse 1. And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the night afore. And he said unto me, Up, Ezra, and hear the words that I am come to tell thee. And
And see, in ancient time, the prophets was always, or a lot of times visited by an angel or a messenger, And what did the angel say when he greeted him? All right, read that again.
2 Ezra chapter 7 and verse 3. Oh, Slakia, in verse 2. And he said unto me, Up, Ezra.
Up, Ezra, to get up, to get up. It's a certain way you have to stand to be able to receive a message, to hear it clearly. Go ahead.
And hear the words that I am come to tell thee. Verse 3. And I said, Speak on, my God. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the case, the entrance were narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it?
Yeah, meaning this is a parable about how a straight gate, in a walk of our existence or life, Read that again, verse 4.
2 Ezra chapter 7 and verse 4. But put the case, the entrance were narrow and like a river.
The entrance, that be the entrance of the kingdom, the entrance is narrow. Right?
Verse 5. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad?
Right. See, you're going to have to go through it.
Yep.
We're going to have to go through certain tribulations, certain trials, trials of our faith to be able to receive this blessing, this inheritance.
Right.
And the Lord set it out that way. The Lord set it out, going into that, like we just read the previous chapter, when he created the earth, he created the elements, certain things. He also created situations for us to go through so that we can inherit the kingdom, so that we can inherit the throne. Just as our mediator, YAHAWASHI, he created his walk, The Lord had, I'm talking about speaking of the Most High, planned YAHAWASHI and what he would have to go through, his sacrifice, just as ours. Of course, YAHAWASHI is being on a greater level, but we would have to have, that same walk or on a similar level, man.
And to add to your point, that's how you're going to get the blessing, just like Jacob. Speaking of the name Israel, that's how we got that name. All right. Our forefather Jacob's name was changed to Israel, all right, by that angel. All right. He said, I'm not going to let you go until you bless me first. After he said, let me go, the day breaker. All right. That's how we even, that's how we came into this thing of having that Israelite heritage. You know what I'm saying? Of course, YAHAWASHI. All right. But that's how the name YAHAWASHI came about. Prince Power. That's how we got that title. All right. So we're going to have to fight to get that blessing. That was the Lord telling us we're about to fight. Yeah. All right. Even in this time, as we're about to inherit it, right. But you got to fight. You got to go through, all right, the straight, the narrow to get to that blessing,
Right. There's a reputation that comes with that name.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, because
I was going to say, it's not just given. You know what I'm saying?
It's earned. It's earned, And just as Jacob earned his right for his name change, right, or his, which is a prophecy, if you will. But just as he earned it, right, that time where he had to earn that came in a time where he was secluded, he was alone.
Yep.
Because when we read this, it's going to expound on, I'm speaking of 2 Ezra, the 7th chapter. When we read it, it's going to say, that one man could go at once. And we can also get Matthew the 7th chapter, to show parallels, of this chapter. But the point being, Jacob had to be alone for him to receive that blessing. And like you was going into earlier, we are going to be faced with that test, okay? And it's not going to be a group test. It's not going to be you can phone a friend like on what's that?
Yeah, that show they talk. Yeah,
it's not Jeopardy, but it's like the $1 million. How to be a millionaire, Hey, you can't phone a friend on this test.
Right.
It's going to be straight on what you know.
and straight on your relationship with Yahawah Shai. You try to phone him, you know.
Yeah.
But hey, don't be surprised if he don't answer, because you might, because he, hey,
Yeah.
what did Yahawah Shai
Yep,
say
yep.
when you know, when he was in this trial? He was
Come
like,
on.
Lord, hey, is this, you know, I gotta go through this?
He was hitting that line up.
He didn't hit that line.
You know,
Yeah.
and the Lord, you know, the Lord was just like, you know,
He ain't say nothing.
he didn't say nothing. But that says something.
Man.
And I was just gonna mention that point. That's the spirit, because Yahweh Shai, he withdrew himself them 3 times to pray, and his disciples, they fell asleep. All right, but it was all prophesied. It was all supposed to happen that way so that he could be secluded. And ultimately, as he said, hey, they're gonna smite the shepherd, and then, you know, the sheep, they're gonna scatter. All right, so Yahweh Shai, he, you know, he had to go through it. All right, and he went through it alone. All right, of course, even you had a man by the name of Simon, all right, that carried that cross at one point for him, actually. So you're gonna have brothers around to help. All right, but it is your test. This is your walk. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
Right.
As the scripture says.
Right. And then in nature, man, any metamorphosis, any animal that changes from one place to another, it always is alone. Like a caterpillar. It has to go inside of a cocoon, you know, to metamorphosize. A snake. You know, snake has to shed its skin, and it don't have its you know its significant other in the skin. You know, it don't have its mother or father in its skin, man.
He'll pull it off. Yeah.
No, it has it's by itself. You see, and just like how nature will teach you, that's something you don't have to go through.
2 Ezra chapter 7 and verse 6. There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and it is full of all good things.
That city is the kingdom. You know, that city is the kingdom of heaven, man. And it says it's filled of all good things. You know. Okay.
Verse 7.
And it specifically says it is building. You know, and that's what Yahweh Shai been preparing for us, man. Lord willing,
Right,
be of the elect, right? Because what did Yahweh Shai say? He said, "I prepare a place for you." You know, and he's, you know, preparing a specific wine for us to sip on when we make it. And he not drinking of it. He's just simply working, man. Just as we should be working. You know, employed by what? Prophecy. Employed by Yahweh Shai. Because what is Yahweh Shai? Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. So that's who is our employer, man. He's giving us these talents to flip, these tasks to complete, you know, and he's gonna check back on it.
Yeah.
He's gonna check back on us.
Yeah.
You know, and make sure and give those that have been fulfilling their roles a pay raise or a payday.
2 Ezra chapter 7 and verse 7. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water.
Yep. Read that again, and the brother gonna get that.
2 Ezra 7 and 7. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a water, like it were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water.
Yeah, so the entrance is narrow, you know. Read that again.
2 Ezra 7 and 7. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall.
And it's set in a dangerous place to fall. You know, there's many traps and snares in Babylon the Great. You know, that this is the straight gate. Okay?
Can I grab the quick one for you? You want it?
Yeah.
So, just real quick for you. Luke chapter 13.
Spirit. I was just hoping that.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, well,
This is Luke chapter 13 and verse 24 in the NLT. I'm gonna start at verse 23 in the NLT. Someone asked him, Lord, will only a few be saved? He replied, work hard to enter to the narrow door to the Most High's kingdom, for many will try to enter but will fail.
Yeah. See, this door is narrow, and many will try to enter, as the scriptures say, but majority are going to fail. You know, many is going to try to enter because this narrow road, man, it's hard to go down if you're not focused on, you know, completing the victory. You know, if you're not focused on or you know, well trained,
man,
you know, for the mission,
man.
you see, and that's what we actively have to do. Did you get that?
This is Hebrews 2, and I'll start at 1. Therefore, we ought to give the more earnest heed to the things which we have heard.
Yeah, give the more earnest heed, right? Give the more. Matter of fact, can we get that word earnest? Yeah, let's just get into it. Don't.
Yeah.
You know, to give a actual, to actually consider, know, to actually be reminded of these things that we're going through, that we read about, how the prophets in an ancient time, how they died, how they were treated. You see? Okay.
Yeah, it says earnest, many words here. Serious, steady, dedicated, zealous.
Yeah, you gotta look these words up, because you'll talk to a nigga named Ernest, and he the most unserious nigga in the world.
Right.
I need a nigga dedicated to smoking cigarettes and drinking, Modelo's, man. He ain't dedicated to a goddamn thing.
Oh, boy.
But this is what the word earnest means.
It says occurring to a greater extent or more intensely than before.
Yeah, to occur to a greater extent. That means to be more serious about things,
Right.
the farther you get along them, man.
Right.
The farther you're taught, the more you understand, the more serious things become. That's why, when you see, a trainee's dedication to something in the beginning of their walk, like for instance, like a fighter, somebody that's been fighting since they were 5 years old, they're in a karate stance, and they're not taking it serious at all. They're saying crisscross applesauce, playing with the mats, But then that person, 15 years later, that becomes a black belt. They don't walk in the gym the same way. The first 5 minutes of their training is not the same, because they've earnestly developed to be more serious about what they're going through, about the training process. The same with our walk, the same with this fight.
Yeah.
The way that we used to start is not the same way that we start today in today's times, because we see how real the things is getting.
Yeah,
We see
yeah.
that the training and the situations that you can be put through in life, actually, it coexists. It relates to one another. They have a similar, they can, fights can happen.
Yeah.
Things can happen, and we see things happen.
Well, it's just like off the movie The Matrix. I'm gonna reference it again. When Morpheus was teaching Neo how to fight.
Yep.
Yep.
It thinks the training becomes real life.
Yeah.
The training is gonna have to be applied. Whether that be into a scrimmage, or a fight, an actual, battle. All right.
Yeah, you have to train how you fight.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Hey, Psalms 144. King David says, "Blessed be the Lord, which teacheth my hands how to fight and my fingers to war." That's just not talking about physically,
Right.
Yeah.
but spiritually too.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Ephesians 6. That's our battle. So the Lord is spiritually teaching us how to fight, with skill, and with tact,
Yep.
as we strive lawfully,
Yeah. That's why the same words are used for when people talk about discipleship or pupil, right?
Yeah.
Those same words are used for schools of fighting, as well as schools of thought, because they go hand in hand, man. An argument or a debate, or to teach to come up against somebody's belief, man. That's a mental fight,
To be opposed to something.
right? Yep. That's why the scriptures say that these words are sharp, sharper than a two-edged sword.
All right.
Because it's a battle. This is a mental challenge. This is a mental journey that you take when you take one of these scriptures, man. A mental the word slips me, but y'all
Like mental warfare, basically.
yeah, pretty much.
Obstacle
That's
course.
why it's much more. It behooves you more to be more practiced and more skilled in the spirit, right? Because that's where everybody else is going to fail. That's where the elect are really going to be able to prevail, man. It's in the spirit. Of course, there's carnal, but the Lord is really teaching us to fight in the spirit. Ephesians 6, like the brother talked.
Well, because the fight usually is against yourself,
That's the first fight.
and
Absolutely.
and you even see that again reference training. The majority of what a person does before they spar is they shadow box.
Yep.
Which that shadow boxing is, you're supposed to be imagining what you would do against yourself. If you saw yourself throw a punch, like you going duck, that same punch. You thinking of counters to your attacks. That's where the fight really starts, man.
How is Satan gonna try to counter these scriptures, man? How is he gonna try to counter us? No, we already got the blueprint. We already know. No.
Yeah, but we got because we mentioned it earlier. You know, when Satan was tempting YAHAWASHI, Satan was coming with those scriptures too.
Yeah.
So we gotta be a step above that nigga, man. We gotta know how to rightly divide it, man. And that's where a lot of Jake become deceived at. Cause you know, they like, oh shit, okay, he said this, he showed it to me in the scriptures too. So a lot of niggas believe in a lie. You know, not that the scriptures are a lie, but the way it was broken down into you. That's why you have to know. Like the brother saying, you got to know this for yourself. And the Lord, He has to teach us that through our personal experiences.
Yep.
Right. You have to know how to handle the sword, man.
Yep.
Sirach chapter 27 and verse 3. Unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord, his house shall soon be overthrown. And the definition of that word diligent, if you just looked it up on Google, it would say consistent, hard working at, and careful. All right, so you got to hold yourself very careful on how you striving in this thing, what you're doing, examining yourself. All right, being continuous, keeping up that endurance. All right, knowing what you into, knowing what you involved in, all the way into the end. Okay, because if you don't, then you're gonna be overthrown. Something is bound to happen. All right, to where just like the parable of the sower. All right, those thorns, those stones. All right, that scorching sun, it's all there. All right, and you got to prevail against those things. You got to make sure you cultivate your mind. All right, so that you fall on that good ground. All right, so that you can spring up and produce that fruit. All right, only by abiding in Yahawashi is that possible. All right, so the fear of the Lord, hey man, you got to keep that in check at all times, or else, you know, you're gonna fall into the fire or into the water. You know.
Right. If I may say too, so you know that you're not by yourself. You know. I mean, it's etiquette also that goes along with it. You know, showing charity, brotherly love, all those things. You know, are key points. You know, to elevate you in the spirit, man. It's the little things that Yahawashi looks for, man. Are the things that the average person may fan a hand at. You know, doing for your brother, looking out for your brother, doing certain things and how you walk. You know, certain ways you think or approach situations. It's the little things, not always the obvious. Thank you. Yep. It's Hebrews 2 and 1. Therefore, we ought to give the more earnest heed to the things which we have heard.
Right. The more serious heat, the more what was some of the synonyms that were used? Earnest.
Yeah, it's oh shit. It's right here. Yeah, it says devout, hardworking, zealous, committed, serious minded.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, intense, dedicated.
More earnest heed, man.
Right.
So when you heed something, you know, are hearing it, you know, listening.
Right.
You know?
Right.
All right.
You're taking it in, basically. You say, you know, food for thought. You're really literally taking it in.
Receiving.
Yes.
Got it.
Goes on to say here, it's Hebrews 2 and 1. Least at any time we should let them slip.
Right. Lest at any time we let them slip.
Right.
You know, like less than, you know, if you know it you know in the old English, if it suddenly slip you, you know, if we suddenly slip,
Yeah.
if we fall,
Yeah.
right, which is what this straight gate is going into,
Yeah.
you know, so, because we can, you know, we got to be serious about these things,
Right.
devoted about these things, you know.
Yep. Absolutely. And that's what Satan's looking for. Any way that he can slip and get in, any kind of opening he can find, he gonna get in. All right. He's well studied in his opponent trust. So we have to be even more so, man. All right, that we don't slip. You know, and at the end of the day, we got YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, man. That's the biggest difference.
Yep, the brother got something.
James chapter 1 and verse 8. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
Yeah, see, double-mindedness or not being devoted to something, not being fully set, all right, fully persuaded in your mind to do something and to finish, right, will lead to double-mindedness, and it'll cause you to be unstable, right? Which is kind of important if you're walking, right? Stability is just a bit important, you know. It's everything important, especially fight, right?
Oh, that was it on that.
Oh, yeah, okay. We can go back to the second Ezra. And you can get
Second Ezra chapter 7 and verse 8. It says,
and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once.
Yeah, see, in that fire, okay, that fire being a trial, you know, what is that? The fiery trial? This, First Peter 4, try you. Yeah, we can hold that on deck, Um, that trial is that experience that we going through. You see, all right, like you even have sayings today where they say, okay, well, let's say for instance your job, if you had to work at extremely long hours, you be saying, damn, they giving me hell. I'm going through hell. They put me through the through the furnace right now. It's hot. It's hot right now. Or Jake can say that on in the streets. It's hot right now.
Yeah.
They can't sleep because they're being tried. Of course in wickedness, but we being tried as well. It's experience, okay, and that water being the word. All right, as the experience is put on us, all right, we being purified and things taken off of us through experiences, all right, and then the Lord is dousing us with the water, right, hardening us, because when you put a metal upon fire, all right, it softens up, but it loses its impurities. Then you hit it with water, and then it hardens back up. It hardens right back up, but it's cleaned a bit, But that's what the Lord is doing with us, man. And that's he's cleansing us with this word.
Yep. This is 1 Peter 4:12. Beloved, do not think it strange concerning the fiery trial.
See, and it's a specific group of people the Lord is talking to.
Right.
All right, beloved. Okay. What is beloved? Who is beloved in the scriptures?
Right.
David. Well, David. Yeah.
Right.
And that extends to the house of David. That's right. You correct, brother. Dawadah. Okay. Dawadah or beloved. See, and the Lord had David be an example to what will represent the elect, that being the mercies of David, the mercy that he received, although he had committed those sins. See, which was the sin of murder and of adultery. But and that's what really the full nation of Israel, but and even the elect to a certain degree, but we will come back. The Lord will have mercy upon the elect. Lord willing, that's us.
Sure, mercies of David.
Right, and that's why the Lord said that we received the sure mercies of David, because that's what he received, grace through that. But that's who this message is preached unto. A subgroup of people. Those that would really be able to hear.
1 Peter 4:12. Beloved, do not think it strange concerning the fiery trial.
Do not think it's strange, right? Do not be all confused, like, damn, why me? Why? Damn, what the hell? Why my situation? Why couldn't be like why couldn't be Lupe Fiasco? Some lame nigga you wish that you was this or that, or you was in a certain position, or you went left instead of right, No, man. The Lord's gonna put you in strange, ridiculous time.
Says, beloved, do not think it strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you.
Which is to try you, right? Or to try, meaning test.
Yep.
Right? Which is to test you.
Yep.
Just like Abraham. Abraham was tested. Is that Genesis 15? Where it talks about Isaac.
Yeah.
Yep. Can we matter of fact, I might, yeah. No, you can read the rest of that.
Okay.
Yeah, finish that.
Like 12, which here it says 13. 1 Peter 4:13. But rejoice to the extent that you partake of Yahawashi's suffering, that when his glory is revealed, you may also be glad with exceeding joy.
Yeah. See?
All right.
So you break down.
Yeah, God. So it's basically like the priest said, don't be surprised. You come into this thing because Yahawashi let it be known. If you come serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. All right. So don't be surprised when these things come upon you. All right. And don't have that victim mentality. Man, I ain't no, we have a saying in the world, man, let the Lord cook. All right. The Lord is dealing with you, man. All right. That's why it says, count it all joy. ultimately at the end. Because what? We are trying to be found worthy, that gold, that silver, worthy in the furnace of affliction, that we might receive the glory when Yahawashi comes, getting his glory first. We might be like Paul said, be like, we see him as he is, be like as he is in those new bodies, having that glory. All right. But it's gonna come with the trial, it's gonna come with temptation, it's gonna come with hell. So don't be surprised, basically. You got it, brother.
Okay. I'm gonna just read this real quick. This, as I was referring to, Genesis, which is the 22nd chapter. But of course, we know this is when the Lord, had Abraham show his characteristic of faith.
Yep.
All right, by having to sacrifice his son, that being Isaac. Right after Abraham get to an old age where it's almost, you rarely see women have children at the age, really you don't see it in these times. I mean, women barely have children over 45, rarely, and even then, it's very likely that they'll have major complications. The child will maybe not make it, or the woman will maybe not make it. So when Abraham seen that his wife was getting very old and he was getting old as well, and he still didn't have children, he was asking the Lord, like, Lord, like, I got all this money, I got all this land, I got all this cattle, all this, all these possessions.
Yeah.
Who can I pass it down to?
Yeah.
Yep. So it was really a miracle when the Lord had, Abraham, bless Rebecca's womb, and or I'm sorry, Sarah's womb.
Yeah, sir.
When the Lord had blessed Sarah's womb, it was like a miracle. But then after that, the Lord was like, "You're gonna have to give it up." So it was like, hey, Abraham probably was like, "Shit, hey, I ain't really gonna go. I can't really do another round like that, man."
Yeah.
And he already like an older, almost a man.
Yeah.
Like he already done had him for 12 years.
Yep.
So that's like your parent. You almost being, imagine your parents when you was like 18, being like, "Oh, he almost out the house. Why the hell would I have another baby right now?" They're like, "We almost free now."
Yeah.
That's how it was in the ancient world. When the son turned 12, it was like, the parents, they was done babysitting, man.
Yep.
They was like, "Get out the house, man."
He's considered a man then.
Yeah. Yep. Go get you a wife. Where your girl? We drinking up all the orange juice, So you got to understand. I say that so that you can understand the circumstance that Abraham was in when he was tested.
Right.
Right. So when we read Genesis 22:1, it says, I'm gonna read it in NLT. It says, sometime later, Yahweh tested Abraham's faith. Abraham, Yahweh called, yes. He replied, "Here I am." And it continues to go on, that account, right, when he was to sacrifice Isaac. But it said that he tested his faith, which is something that we're going to go through. That's why the scriptures say that we're going to have the faith of Abraham.
If I may add too, when you go into that story, it's beautiful because what it shows, it exemplifies faith and works. Right? How Abraham believed in the word, and his action showed it. All right, we laid his son down. He's ready to go ahead. But that's a work.
Faith is the substance of things not seen. The evidence, right? The evidence is something tangible. Right?
That's right.
You can see.
That's right.
Just like when we say we're going out to do the work, right? Well, the work is not this imaginary.
Nah.
Yeah. This thing. This imaginary friend.
Right.
No,
right.
It's an actual building thing that's going on. It's an actual page that's set up, and there's actual words that's being put forth, and hours that's going in.
Yeah, getting things together, preparing everything.
Yeah.
It's work. So in that act right there, that was a beautiful example of faith and works that Abraham exemplified there in that moment.
Right.
Matthew chapter 24 and verse 13. Words of Yahawashi are read. It says, "But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved." Now I want to grab that word on the Blue Letter Bible, the word endure. All right, so the person that endures until the end shall be saved. Now, this word endure on the Blue Letter Bible is Strong's G5278 in the Greek, hypomeno, and it says to persevere. And to persevere, meaning like you gotta look danger in his eyes and go through it still. All right, to still stand tall through situations. It goes on to persevere under misfortunes and trials, as you were saying, to hold fast to one's faith, the faith of Abraham, right? In Hamashiach, to endure, bear bravely and calmly ill treatments. All right, so we're gonna have to go through different misfortunes and different trials, and it's gonna look different for every brother. Now we all have to face that. Where's that? Oh, it's not even up here, but
Sickly moment.
huh?
It's like, yeah, I was thinking.
Oh, okay, yeah, to see him. We're all gonna ultimately come to the hour of temptation, which the training for that is happening now. All right, because we all got to resist that thing. We all got to say no, ultimately. All right, but even on the path there, it's going to be different ill treatments you got to go through, man. Different misfortunes. All right, just like YAHAWASHI. How you have the wicked scribes and Pharisees. All right, which they wasn't all wicked, but the ones that weren't wicked, the wicked scribes and Pharisees, are always talking ish. All right, to the Lord. All right, saying this, saying that. All right, so much so that they'll rip their clothes. They was angry. They been wanting to put them to death. All right, but hey. Ultimately, hey, it was all done, and then the suffering took place where he had to go on the cross, and then he went up to the heavens to get the glory up there, and now he's about to get it down here. Likewise, hey, we're gonna go through something, man. You gotta have that in mind, and it's gonna take more than you think. Honestly, it's gonna take a little more than what you think it's gonna take, man. Because you might be thinking, well, shit, you know, I can suffer a little bit, da, 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 da. All right, but the Lord is really gonna hold you to it.
It's gonna take all that you have, you know, everything that you have.
Yep.
You know, that's why the scriptures say, you know, your body is a sacrifice. You know, roughly paraphrasing that. Everything that you have, everything that you think to have, you know, everything. He was built to give everything up. You know? Everything that matters to you. See,
This is I got some here. This is Matthew 19, 27 and 28. All right, I just brought that up because what the preacher said, and that's just the spirit. You know, because coming into this thing, you're gonna have to give up something. All right, chiefly what that is the world. And whatever YAHAWASHI, you know, deems that you need to put give up within this world, man. You know, it can be your time with your wife, your family, your son, your daughter.
James.
We all got stories and stuff behind these faces, man, of things that we had to sacrifice and give up, man. Right? But why? Because ultimately we understand the assignment, okay? And the scriptures let us know of what will be received if we do these things, all right? We believe in the report.
Yeah.
This is a Matthew.
And there's more to give up.
Absolutely.
Like the priests, the ancient world, they had a daily sacrifice.
Yep.
You know, every day something was going up.
Absolutely. This is Matthew 19. Let me get straight to the point. 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? That's where to get that word follow. And it says, this is a G190, and it's akothea. And it says, to be in the same way with, to be accompanied. All right, so ultimately, that's what the men of the Lord are looking to be. We're looking to be be as YAHAWASHI, as we brought out earlier, right? So YAHAWASHI answered and said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, ye which have followed me, that word follow again, in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit on the throne in his glory, ye also shall sit on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. You see? So those that have followed, all right, those that have believed in the report, all right, those that have let go of the world on this side, man, and follow YAHAWASHI. Scripture talk about the sheep hear my voice and they know me, and they follow me wherever I go. All right, why? Because we understand that this is not our rest. We understand that there's something greater. All right, we at the end of this man's rulership, 2 Ezra 6 and 9. It says Esau is the end of the world which we're living now. And our world, Jacob, is the beginning. And that's what we're coming into. We're in that third day, man. All right, where that daybreak is getting ready to happen, man. All right, we're going to receive that glory. I brought this out where that number. What happened? Was that a demon?
Yeah, BB.
Yeah, he just marked himself. That's all that is. Y'all gonna keep playing. Y'all gonna keep fuck around out here playing. We gonna see some things, man. I'm tired of you niggas, man. Keep playing. In these times, keep doing what you're doing.
James chapter 5 and verse 8.
Yeah,
Be ye also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh.
Right? Yeah, be patient. Establish your hearts, man, because example, what just happened over here, niggas shooting BB guns outside the car. Probably gonna get into an accident tonight,
Abaratazah.
or a fight with some unhinged nigga.
Kill his ass.
He shoot a real gun at they shit, and shit gets serious. Cause we get into that time, niggas just work 13-hour shift, going to their home, and seeing they women complain and bitch. But then, it was one thing set a nigga, loose, man. So like, it's mass judgment going on, man, and the dollar crashing. Damn near we could see something happen tonight, tomorrow, or next week. Next week is or we just passed the Lupercalia, which is a major high holy day for the left hand, where they like to do sacrifice, and at the same time we seeing escalations happen in the Middle East. Trump is deploying more military troops to Iran, the most it's been since 2003.
And let's go.
So shit is getting serious. But these niggas, niggas playing, niggas talk, worried about the wrong shit, and watching these fucking streamers, not giving a damn. And while shit is getting real serious, but the Lord told us to establish the hearts. You had a word in that?
Yeah, I got that word. Yeah, I got you. James chapter 5 and verse 8. Be ye also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh.
If I may say too, because when you read up in that chapter, it talks about the former and the latter rain. The former and the latter rain. Which is when you looked at the farmers Amalek. Which is the farmers Amalek. Is pretty much a calendar. When the farmers would be expecting certain rains in the season. So, you can liken the former rain and the latter rain, of course, to the whole ministry of the truth, right? Of when the first received, the spirit or the water, right? That being a knowledge, okay, but around 1619, and in the latter rain, and the wave of people that you had come in specifically at the time of 2008, you have the wave of the internet. But then you also have this last major and a spike of the nation of Israel, or I'll say believers, in the true ministry, the Great Awakening, in these last times. But you could also liken that unto your life, man. Because you first heard this truth, you had a beginning, the fervency, the beginning, but then you also got this boost. As we see these prophecies really starting to take off and ramp up, the latter rain in that. So that's why the scriptures is saying to establish your hearts, to make sure that you persuaded in your own mind. But we've been going into this whole, ministry, man, this sermon, man. Got it.
Yeah, I got that word, establish. It says Strong's G in the Blue Letter Bible, Strong's G 4741 in the Greek sterizo. All right, it says to make stable, place firmly, set fast, fix, to strengthen, make firm, to render constant, confirm one's mind. All right, and ultimately that brought me to the precept Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 6, because the only way you're gonna be stable, all right, and the only way you're gonna really establish your mind and what you're supposed to be establishing on is these scriptures, which ultimately is YAHAWASHI HaMashiach. As it says, Isaiah 33 and verse 6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So this is the stability. If you're not establishing your heart on this right here, this truth, all right, the words that the Lord had put in his prophet's mouth, all right, to prophesy, all right, the doctrine that's going forth to the four corners of the earth, then when that time comes, you just gonna crumble, man. You're gonna fold like a lawn chair. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, this right here is the only thing that's gonna push you through to make it. All right, Yahawashi said, as I got earlier, all right, shall endure unto the end shall be saved. Well, guess what? That's by holding on to your faith. Faith in what? This word. Faith in Yahawah Shema Shai. Now also,
AKA rooted, being rooted. As it talks about in Mark the 4th chapter. It depends on how you were developing, your seed. That seed being developed, if it was actually in the ground and able to, get the right nutrients, then it would be able to endure certain winds and certain elements that the outside will put in on it. Or certain animals, if they came around, man, they wouldn't be moved. Right. Because they would be so deep within the earth. Right. That's how we ought to be, man. Established, rooted, deeply rooted.
right. And also, like that word in the Greek said, sterizo, it made me think of that word sterilize. And I brought it up on Google. It says verb, make something free from bacteria or other living microorganisms. And a similar word says purify, cleanse, clean. All right. So it also says depollute. All right. And then coming out of this world, we definitely got to do that. All right. But the only way that that's going to happen is by taking heed unto this word so that you can be cleansed. That's the only way.
Psalms 119, how should a man cleanse his way? By taking heed unto the word, man.
Right.
That's what cleanses us. That former and that latter rain. Like we was talking about,
Right.
That's what this is.
So it's all about fixing that mind upon this right here, man. Because a lot of people, man, it's like, man, you got like Dabu 7, all right, Full Spectrum. You got different peppers and stuff online. Canadian pepper. All right, they said in their hearts, they established in their hearts on what? What's your heart? Not literally your heart, but your mind. All right, that's what we're talking about live. All right. All right, but they doing what? They on their goods that they got. Yeah. All right, on their job, all right, on their money, or whatever that they don't put up. All right, but nothing spiritual. That's why the whole world is gonna take that seat up, man. That's why they ain't got no faith. They're depending on something that's ultimately going to crumble. Because to keep what you got, all right, to continue in commerce with society, you're gonna have to take that thing. The only way to resist, all right, is through Yahawah Shema Shai and having faith. And the only way you're gonna have the faith is if you're building it up now, man. That's the only way, man. If you establishing your mind right now that, you know what, I'm full in with Yahawah Shema Shai no matter what. So when that time comes, you know, he got me. And of course, he's taking us through different experiences, not only, you know, just the trials, but taking you out of different trials too, showing you his salvation, all right? Showing you his power. So now you know when that time comes, man, the Lord, he done deliver me out of that, you know, situation with that bear, with that lion. So this Goliath ain't shit, you know what I'm saying?
Right, that's why Yahawashi said, choose ye this day you should serve. You're going to serve Yahawashi, you're going to serve your belly, you're going to serve mammon. You're going to look for some other way around the salvation. There ain't no other way. Yahawashi is the door. Ain't no money, ain't no bunkers, ain't nothing that going to stop what Yahawashi is coming, man.
Right.
All right, the only way, man, is through the door.
Come on, James.
Yeah.
James chapter 5 and verse 9. Grudge not one against another, brethren, lest ye be condemned.
Right, yeah, grudge not one against another. Any offset you have with a brother, man, let it go. You know? Or talk to him about it. You know? Talk it out. You might not have a brother's personality type, might be a bit different than yours, right? And some people get offended at that, you know. But you gotta talk it out, because that's a man of the Lord. Be around men of the Lord, man. Everybody here is putting on the elect or trying to. No.
If I may add to, you got to purge that out, those thoughts and that dissension and all that, because that shit could grow. Yeah. If you don't confront it, you got to purge that out. That's a disease in the body, man.
Yeah.
You got a problem with a brother, man, purge that shit out right then and there. Don't let that fester and grow.
Yeah, that's a weak root on a tree.
Absolutely.
Got it, or a split. You know?
I'm gonna read from the top. James 5 and 9. Grudge not one against another, brethren, lest ye be condemned. Behold, the judge standeth before the door.
Yeah, the judge standing before the door. That means outside. All right. Yeah, outside standing before the door. You know. Got it. Keep going.
Verse 10, take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience.
Right? Take the brother and the prophets, all right, which we read about in the scriptures, you know, speaking of like Jeremiah or Isaiah or Amos, you know, those men, they lived hard lives, you know. They lived very harsh lives, man. Yeah. Read that again.
James 5 and 10, take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience.
Right? This is why we should be established, man. They were, you know, they were used as an example of suffering and affliction. You know, the prophets. All right, just like Jeremiah. Jeremiah, you know, had to preach butt naked. You know, he had to, you know, preach with the, you know, in pretty much in, you know, like, let me out here. Is it cow? Like pretty much like cow
Donkeys. Wait, something
like he was chained up.
Yeah, he had that yoke around.
Yeah, the yoke.
Yeah.
Water. Yeah, yoke. Don't put a yoke in the water. You know, bird slippery, man. On back. You know, put a yoke around his neck. You know. Some other examples of the prophets, man. Of course, you got you know John, you know, the Revelator, having to work in the salt mines. You know.
You got
the cow manure, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
shit, you got the disciples, man, when they was beat. And then after they told them, don't go preach your house no more. And they went forth preaching him day to day. And
They was fired up. They was happy.
they were fired up, and they said
Joyous.
they was joyful. And then it says, as it is written in there, it said that they were joyful because they were worthy to suffer for the name's sake, man.
That's
For
crazy.
Yahawashi Mashiach.
That's how crazy in this world,
Come
bro.
on, man. You know, so
Crazy.
hey, getting to the point of literally being beaten, who knows, black eye, whatever, stripes. You know what I'm saying?
Paul pretty much died and came back.
Yep.
You know, he was stoned to death and stood back up and was like, shit, I guess they ain't like what I was saying. I'll go the other way. You know, and continued on, man. Shipwrecks.
Shit, hey, Yahawashi. You know, when he went up there, and they, smacked him, put a bag over his head, hitting him. You know what I'm saying? At any moment, Yahawashi had the power, and he even said it, man.
Yep.
He even said, going back, even Peter had smoked that, that dude that came, and you ain't taking the Lord. All right, nigga. Right? And then Yahawashi, what he say? He healed the dude. He said, hey, man, put your sword away. Think not presently that I can ask of my father, and he's saying, more than 20 legions
12 legions.
12 legions of angels? You know what I'm saying? The water. At any moment, Yahawashi, he had the power, man. That's the Son of Man we talked about. He had the power to do literally anything. Hey, man, fuck all this, da-da-da. All right, but he kept his composure. All right, his heart, all right, was established. All right, the same thing that we talking about, man. All right, that you got to tap into. All right, so that you can get this mission done. We on a mission down here so that we can complete this thing, man.
I just want to grab this really quick. Since you brought up Yahawashi, I'm going to get straight to the point.
Yep.
This is Isaiah 53, 9 and 10. And they made his grave with the wicked, talking about Yahawashi, because he was numbered amongst the transgressors.
Yep.
But with the rich at his death, because he had done no violence, nor was any deceit in his mouth. Here's the point. Yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him. He has put him to grief when he make his soul an offering for sin. So that pleased the Heavenly Father to send Yahawashi through all that, man. Just why I said this ain't for the world, man. This gonna sound crazy and backwards. This is only for the elect. It pleased the Heavenly Father to put him through that hell. That's why the priest brought up beautiful talk about the disciples. When they were thrown in jail and beaten, they came out rejoicing, man. And so, that we brought out what? Think it not strange? So all the brothers done had that walk when we've been in this walk or something happened and maybe like, damn, but in the spirit, you kind of like, yeah, time, you know what I'm saying? You be feeling some type of way if everything going really too good for you all the time,
You gotta learn how to laugh at it, bro.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
you gotta learn how to freak at it.
Elder Apostle Kyle, beautiful example. He always goes into that, You gotta put the flames. You gotta say, fuck it, man. You gotta laugh at this shit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, at times, you're gonna be catching hell. You're gonna shed tears, whatever sometimes. But hey, if you stuck in that woe is me spirit, then it's literally gonna be woe is you, man.
Yep.
you're just gonna be destroyed. That's what woe going to, destruction, being destroyed. So you gotta come out of that shit, because it's told to you, if you want this glory, you want to get that crown, well, guess what? This the path. That's where you gotta go.
Yep.
It ain't gonna be that smooth paved that way with the barbecue pits, with the pork chops on that motherfucker.
The rest areas.
It's gonna be right there bearing that cross, man.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
You just gotta look at certain situations too before people try to gas it up and makes shit seem like bigger than it is.
Right.
So you just gotta put yourself in check. Like, it's really not that serious, man.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of shit is just not that serious.
Right.
Like, for instance, you got your little chick you're dealing with, she's like, yeah, we gonna get married and we're gonna have many, she's fucking fantasizing. You just pat her on the head, like, yeah, baby girl,
Yeah, okay, baby.
Put a movie on. Let's put Bugs Life on,
Yep. Hey, I got a cooking for you.
Or fucking your manager come to you, man. Hey, you've been on time, man. We're gonna be thinking about, trying to give you a leadership role, man. So they always call fucking a leadership role, man.
What the money at?
We're gonna give you, what I'm saying, we see you doing a good job. Don't look at that shit as serious. Don't look be dead in that conversation like this nigga really think I'm listening. No, I know you a Edomite.
Yep.
Yeah. This shit is not too serious, man. But the only thing you take serious is these scriptures, man. The only thing you take serious is prophecy, bro. Because we know what's gonna happen. All these people's gonna flip. All these people is, they do one thing today, they do one thing tomorrow. They wake up feeling like a boy, then they go home and they put on a wig and put on makeup,
Yeah.
or fucking or tell somebody, or if they don't do that, then they say, oh, well, who say say that that they don't feel that way, man. I don't have nothing to say. I don't have to feel nothing about that.
Crazy.
They think one thing and they do something else, man. Completely changed depending on their algorithm that day. Depending on how they TikTok feed looks, depending on how they Instagram the comments in that in the fucking on that picture, man.
Life, bro.
They're eligible to be changed, man, to be moved. Yeah. So just as you don't take the bad things so serious, don't take the good things so serious either.
Absolutely.
Hey, going into that, because it's not that deep. Romans chapter 8 and verse 18. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. So ultimately, what we going through, man, the reason why you can laugh at it, all right, the reason why, you can have that spirit, ultimately, the Lord sending that spirit on you, all right, through the Holy Spirit, the HaKodesh, all right, is because we understand that, hey, man, we're going to get something far better than this. And what I'm suffering, all right, it ain't even worthy to be compared. It ain't worthy to be compared with what I'm going to receive. You got to understand that, man. Hey, Hebrews 12 and 2, YAHAWASHI, the author and finisher of our faith, all right, he focused on the joy set before him. He got something, man. He got something way better than what he had to go through, although to the flesh, it's like, oh, damn, but you going to have the moments. All right, YAHAWASHI had that moment, and he was literally perfect.
Yeah.
You think you not?
Yeah.
All right, but we got the tools to fight through that moment, to pivot, to go back and read, all right, to call a brother, all right, to put on a lesson while we still got time, all right, to do what you got to do so that you can push through, man. Because ultimately, bro, what we going to receive, having dominion over the whole earth, over all the people, having the uttermost parts of the earth, all right, having the whole universe, all of existence unlocked to the Israelites, having to see Yahweh himself, see YAHAWASHI, all right? Hey, man, new bodies, bro, it outweighs it, but you got to focus on it, though. If you don't focus on that, if you just focus on, damn, I got to get this up. I got to, damn, that woman left me, my job, my car, damn, this thorn in my side, damn. If you just focus on that, you just not going to make it, dog, because you magnifying your problems, all right?
Kind of just to land back on that, that's a beautiful, heavy point, because, we get, we get our validity, thinking about everything, but also at the same time, we have to keep in mind, because it's a balance, man. All right, we know, as the joy cometh in the morning, but we still have a hell of a fight that we're gonna have to endure. All right, so this is why this precept, it's a balance to everything we're talking about. This here is Luke 14 and 28. This is in red letters where YAHAWASHI said, "Well, which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost?" You can speak on it, brother. whether he have efficient to finish it.
Yeah, which if you know, being that somebody that takes on a task, you know, looks to build a tower. Can you keep up? No, we're gonna keep reading on that, but which of you, which that tower is likened unto doing this work. You put your hands to the plow. And we intend to finish. All right, so it looks foolish if you start something, especially a building, and you don't finish. You pour the concrete. All right, you put the rebar in, and you get brick, and you put the brick up. And then damn, I didn't have enough money to put a roof in.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have blueprints. You didn't do a P&L. You didn't look at the profit. You didn't look at how the environment you was building in.
Yeah.
Oh man, a builder is gonna think about the long term.
Yep.
And why they're building it. What they have a purpose for what they're building. Niggas don't build a house, don't have a bathroom in it. You don't build a house without putting certain things in it. It has to have a purpose. So it looks foolish to you. It looks foolish if you see somebody start something and they don't finish it.
Right.
It's looked at and it's set there as a remembrance of folly.
Yep. God. That's why it specifically says he sit not down first to count the cost. To sit down is to that's an act of pondering something. All right, meditating, really thinking it through. All right. You know what I'm saying? That's really focusing in and honing in on exactly what it is. When you sit down and you read that's a form of opening your mind, basically. All right, and really trying to take it all in. All right, and that's what this ministry calls for. All right, coming into this thing, going back to what we brought out, what YAHAWASHI said. If you come to serve me, if you come to build this house, you better think about the cost and what it's going to take.
Yeah.
All right? Are you willing to give that up? Are you willing to pay that? Because we're all in debt to YAHAWASHI, man. We all debtors out here. All right? Goes on to say, this is Luke 14:29, least happily after ye have laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him.
Yeah, everybody that sees will begin to mock. Because they seen you start something, they was like, damn, what the fuck?
Fired up.
What you building?
Yeah.
Jacob starts something, the first goddamn day they start something. Yeah, man, I'm just, man, I've been doing this. I've been doing this a little bit. They be, yeah. I'm in it.
It's fine when I get to it.
First, New Year, niggas gonna go to the gym. They do, 10 push-ups, do that little, mirror. But then the next 20 minutes, they taking goddamn pictures, man.
Yep.
They'll show it off. Like, yeah, look what I started.
Cool.
All right, we gonna see.
3
All
weeks.
right, we gonna see what happens in April. You still gonna be there at the end of the first quarter?
Oh.
Cool. Okay. You went your time. You went. It dwindled down, man. Went to going 3-4 times a week to now 2.
Yep.
Let's see what happens in the second half. Oh, now it's 1 time a week.
Yeah.
Now you only go to the gym and you stretch.
Yeah.
Just hit a couple of those.
Just hit the treadmill and leave.
Hit the treadmill. Watch the TV. It's over when you watch the TV.
Yeah. You might as well get on out of there.
But people are gonna mock when you don't finish.
Yep.
When you don't finish the goals that you set.
That's why
mock.
Priest brought out beautifully. Look into the altar and finish. I'm stop finish. That's ultimately what we want to do. That finish goes into what? Also enduring to the end, completing. All right, goes on to say here, and it says, saying this man began to build and was not able to finish.
Yeah.
Right.
A man that starts something and don't finish, man, it's a disappointment. It's a mockery. See? All right? And we have examples of that, of men that didn't finish. A man that didn't finish, one being Judas Iscariot, man.
It's a shameful thing, man.
Judas Iscariot did not finish.
It's a shameful thing.
And it is a shame.
Very much a shameful.
It's a shameful thing. It's a shameful thing to not finish. Like even in modern times, like you'll have your picture, like somebody makes you a meal. This is looked at as very rude in the ancient world too. Somebody makes you a meal.
Yeah.
If you don't eat the whole meal, you don't finish the meal. And you said that you was hungry, or you came to visit somebody, you didn't prepare to be hungry.
Yeah.
And it's very disrespectful, man. It's rude.
Yep.
See? And we got to eat this whole what? We got to eat this whole roll. You know, that's the journey. Yep. So just know what you went to, and know what we got to do. You know what we got to do, but we here now. All right. So don't be scared, man. Right. Take a lot of times to be scared to be great. Right. So with that, we're gonna wrap up camp, but we want to give all praise, honor, and infinite glory to our Heavenly Father. Okay, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone taught us the truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom.
Shalom. The elder, they ended theirs.